Okay, I'll shoot.
CurtissKing.
DI wires. Don't mind me multitasking. My friend Mega Ran asked me a question before we went live.
The timing. I was like, oh yeah, by the way.
And the button got pushed. The button got pushed, unfortunately. By the time I'm sitting here like, let me send the link. I'll give you some time to do it because I got to do an introduction anyways. But first and foremost, Mega Ran, man, how you doing, sir?
I'm great. I am still trying to process so many emotions right now, but
insane.
This is wild, man. It is very, very wild. But I am doing well. I'm blessed, man.
Yeah, and the way that you did it, man, I can't wait to break this whole conversation down because well, first of all, let me get into the formal introduction before I get into my personal introduction. But today we're joined by an artist who built one of the most unique and respected lanes in hip hop, rapper, educator, gamer, and now Grammy nominated creator. He's taken Nerdcore global, collaborated with major gaming brands, toured the world, and proved you can win big by staying true to what you love. Please welcome the one and only Mega Ran. Now, that's my formal introduction, but damn it, I seen this brother in Phoenix. I was torn with my guy, Noah James, and I had been told about the name beforehand. I wasn't familiar, but I've been told about the name, and more so what you were kind of like under the umbrella of the subgenre of hip hop at that time. I don't remember the year nor the venue. Maybe you remember the venue?
I feel like it was Tucson that we met. Was it? I don't know. It could have been Tucson or Phoenix or maybe both, but gosh, I don't remember the venue though. It's probably not around, unfortunately.
Yeah, like really, whatever it was, I do remember that there was a Chiba Hut real close to that.
Okay, that's Tucson then, because we don't even have them in Phoenix. Unfortunately, I love Chiba Hut.
Never went somewhere where they had Kool-Aid in a dispensary. I said, what is this? What is this Willy Wonka world that we're at?
Yes.
But with that said, saw this brother perform, and not only did he have his core audience that was there, folks who were diehards of his that were there, but he did something I have never in my 20 plus years seen of doing shows and rapping. He had his audience sit down. He had his audience sit down. And you know what they did? They sat down. Just like a classroom. And he proceeded to do these songs that were, video game references and, all these different things that just weren't the norm at the time. But your success, man, is no mystery to me. I saw it then, the potential and the crowd control. I literally had never seen anything like that in that sense, because at hip hop shows, everybody's can be so to themselves and smug, but even then, you had an idea. In your own words, man, describe to these people, who is Mega Ran if they've never come across your world before.
Wow. Okay. So Mega Ran is a former teacher, educator turned rapper, songwriter, musician, podcaster, content creator, I guess you want to say, right. Author, DIYer, man. Like, honestly, just, my goal has been to take like indie rap to the world, in the weirdest rooms possible. You know what I mean? And that journey kind of started maybe in 2007, just being like, oh wow, like you can take this, like there's still places that hip hop ain't necessarily allowed in. You know what I mean? And that was like a part of my mission where I was like, okay, we're going to take this to places where maybe they don't want it and they just don't know that they want it here. So we're going to figure it out. And that's just been the journey.
Man, not to stray too far, but I remember a gentleman, a mentor of mine actually, who told me a story about there was a father. You talk about going the non-traditional route, which is going to be a reoccurring theme, I think, in our conversation. Mm-hmm. But there was a father who was, just kind of went through the same motions as most up and coming rappers. He was doing the typical songs, the club songs, the girl songs, and all of this. And his son took a liking to a specific type of toy. And it was a whole world amongst these toys where there's backstories. And long story short, I don't remember the gentleman's name, but he pivoted and started to rap about the stories, just really making songs for his son. And him doing so, and I'm hoping this is ringing a bell, but him doing so, it opened up conferences to him. He had opportunities he had never gotten as the traditional independent artist. And when he told me that story, I promise you were the first person that came to mind because of how much you've etched out your own your own lane and never made excuses for it. Like you never
Wow.
like tried to figure out, okay, how do I make this look good? You did you the entire
Gotta
time, but
do you. Man, I'm like, is this the Mega Man story? Like, wait, who
I'm
is
like, no,
this?
I was
Like,
hoping that you was gonna give me like, Curtis, you're describing my story. I was hoping that because I've never been
I
able to find a
need
man's.
to
I'm gonna have to
know.
hit my mentor up because my mentor told me this story and he was telling it to me because he knew that I was pivoting as an independent artist. You know, at the
Mhm,
time that I met you, I was with a indie label called Black Cloud, and I was
mhm,
going kind of on my own at that point. And so he said, you know, don't be afraid of going a non-traditional route. And that's a
mm.
story he told me, and it's one that stuck with me. But I thought about you, and I was like, did he
Gosh,
just
I
tell me the
have to
Mega Man
find.
story?
Yo, I have to like. It sounds like a
Man,
combination of like my story just kind of truncated and when some things moved around because I'm like, wow, who is this? I gotta
all I
find
know
out.
all I know is they're little monsters, little monster toys, and they have like their own
Mm.
world and backstories. And I
Not
guess that's
Pokemon, right? And it's
not
not
Pokemon. No,
Pokemon.
I wouldn't
Okay,
know that. I wouldn't know
because
that one.
there, I know a ton of people who have literally made a living rapping about Pokemon,
I'm
and
saying,
Pokemon has become it is not has become it is like it's forever. It's eternal. You know what I'm
right.
saying? To the point where kids grew up with it and now they're older with it and they're just turning it into like putting it into rap songs, making it swaggy and
Mhm.
like killing it. This world has just blown my mind of what can be done.
Amazing how ahead of the curve you were. Like especially as I look at the Pokemon Go sensation during the pandemic years
Uh,
and seeing people leaving their homes, like only something like Pokemon will be able to cut through all of the distraction and the doom scrolling. The people are like, I'll go outside for some Pokemon.
yeah, made
Which
people
is
go
crazy.
outside for Pokemon. That's pretty crazy, man. Like that was a moment for sure. Like that let
Yeah.
me know like the power of kind of gaming and you know something can really cut through culture and cut across cultures
Mhm.
and become universal like that. Something so niche can now still to this day like a lot of my homies are like hold up I gotta catch this Pokemon real quick, hold on, and they'll just whip the phone out. Man, I'd be like, wait, what? Like, yo, people
You know
still do
what?
it, man. It's
Go
really
for
cool
it.
to see. They still go for it, man. It's and like, you know, we came up in a time and a place where, you know, you might have got beat up for something like that. You
I'm
know what I mean? And so
saying.
it's very interesting, man. Like that we are now at a point where everybody is completely free to do and be whatever and whoever they want to be. And it's the and I'm sure you've probably said it at some point, but it's this is the greatest time to be a creator
Yeah.
probably in human history because there's just so many options and so many ways to do it.
And isn't it ironic that probably the same kids that were trying to bully the ones who were in their games or were into their wrestling are now being told by their labels that when they became rappers, they're being told by their labels, I need you to get into streaming and maybe even gaming.
Yeah.
And to see this whole thing come full circle, it's insane. You know, I'm pretty sure you have your feelings about it because they don't all seem thrilled about having to get into this world. And it doesn't seem genuine for some folks, but it is
No.
dope to see, like, for instance, I'll give you an example, like a Schoolboy Q. It's dope to see him be able to display his passion for golfing and then
Mhm.
also for gaming in general, because it's like these are human beings outside of their rapper personas.
Yeah. It's but I will say like nerds can kind of they'll spot a counterfeit. You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
nerds love authenticity and we thrive off that. DIYers too. And
Yeah.
so we can see authenticity when you really love it or when you're like just forced to do it. You can tell. And you're not going to create your best content when you don't really want to be doing it. You got to really get comfortable. And but it's wild to see, you know. I was talking to Merce about this. Merce was the first rapper on Twitch streaming, you know, like the
Mhm.
literal first
Right.
hip hop artist
Crazy. Shout out to
to
him.
run a live stream. And like, you know, you're not necessarily going to get flowers for something like that, but it's like I was doing this when everybody was like, that's dumb. Like, what are you just gonna sit in front of the camera?
Mhm.
Like, what are you
What
doing?
else? Meanwhile, now you seeing these I'm like, were we too early, Mega Ran? Because meanwhile, you got
Yeah.
multimillionaires who are
Yes.
literally getting paid to sleep in front of the camera. What
Yo,
twilight zone are we in?
I never thought this would take off, dude. I remember kids being like, "Oh, I just watch a guy play Roblox or I watch a guy play Fortnite." And I'm like, "What, do he let you play?" No, 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 I just watch. Does he like, you know, interact with you? No, not really. But he just plays and he's really good. And I'm like, "So you just watch?" Yeah, yeah. And I
for,
was like, "This will never work." Like, this is the
for us as
dumbest thing I
kids,
ever heard.
that's torture. For us as kids, that was torture. Like seeing your little cousin play a one person game. And it's like, you know, you don't want to say this, but it's like talking about in my head, I'm like, I hope you die as Luigi so I can come back and be Mario because I don't like just taking turns. I don't like taking
Right.
turns
I
with
don't
you.
like this taking turns.
I ain't
I'm
gonna say
like,
it
man,
out loud.
right. I'm like, oh, watch that jump. Oh, watch
Whoa,
out.
whoa, you gotta be quicker next time. Man, look, you've carved out one of the most unique lanes, man, in hip hop, in my opinion. Part MC, part educator, part gamer, part historian. For people new to your world, how do you describe what Mega Ran represents today?
Hmm. Well, that's hard. I feel like I've worn so many hats over the years, and I think they've all been me. So I think honestly, the the main takeaway from what I am is complex, complicated, you know, varied, random, and human, because we all like so many different things. And so I think that's the point that I'm trying to get across mostly to people is that you can be complex, you can be versatile, you can try different things. People have always told you stay in your lane, do the thing, whatever. And I'm the opposite of that, you know what I mean? And I feel like you don't necessarily have to stay in your lane, because if your lane is authenticity and your lane is complexity, your lane is nerdiness and silliness and randomness, then I could literally do anything. And people were like, oh yeah, there you go. There we go, doing the country album. All right, yeah, I saw it. Saw it coming. You know
Right,
what I mean? I remember, I think KRS once said that somebody was like, what is hip hop? And he's always like, I am hip hop.
right.
And so, and
My favorite from him
but
every year. He does it in every year interview. Anytime he about to cook, he says every year. That's KR's one favorite go
every
to.
year.
Every year, I write a diss song for the top 10 rappers in the game. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh man, just hoping they get out of pocket. Um, so yes, KRS said basically, because I am hip hop, anything I do is hip hop.
Mm,
You know what I'm saying? He said, I'm always hip hop. So therefore, the way I sleep is hip hop. You know what I mean? Like it's hip hop because
right.
that's who and what I am. And I love that. And I feel like that's you as a human being. It's like whatever you are is whatever you're doing, hey,
Right.
it's me.
You can't take that away from me. And I think there's so many rules, it feels like sometimes in hip hop culture. I mean, really just I guess really as black man too, coming up in terms of expectations from our peers and what you can or can't be. And
Mhm.
one of those terms I remember growing up that I would hear at times, and I had my own relationship with this phrase of being a nerd because either was into computers or I was into like the game, and I was into wrestling before wrestling became something
Mhm.
all the homies was into. These things were kind of applied to it. But I hear people today, especially when I announced this interview, they said, dog, that is a nerdcore legend. And I've seen that echoed at least 10 times in the last 24 hours.
Wow.
I know my friend was out here doing some amazing things, but can you define for the people what is nerdcore specifically? And then also, too, what was so appealing about that lane to you?
Man, I guess I was doing it before I knew what it was, which was cool. But once I get a great idea, I write it down, I start working on it, and then I Google to see if anybody's ever tried it. And so in the process of doing that, I was like, ain't nobody writing songs about like Mega Man, are they? Because I really love this game, Mega Man, and I love the music. And I just want to write some raps about like what if I was sucked into this video game and how that would sound. So we started flipping video game samples and doing fun things with them. And so I would search. I'm like, well, doesn't seem like anybody's doing this. And so now it's like, well, where do I play these songs at? Like, what am I supposed to do with
Mhm.
this now? And so I would kind of seek out places, and there weren't really any, which led me to Comic Cons and other places like that. But yeah, when I would just go play the indie rap show, I would have like a side pocket of traditional raps. You know what I mean? Where I'm like, well, I'm still a backpack rapper, so I'm gonna just do
Right.
these backpack raps. And it took one day in Philly. I think I was opening for Sean Price, rest in peace. And
Wow. Space.
and a guy in the front row was like, "Yo, do the Mega Man joint." And I was like, "What y'all know about Mega Man?" And the crowd was like, "Yo, that was about shit." And
Wow.
so that kind of taught me like, oh, like I can be my full self
Right.
and we can just have fun with. And I had to really like fight with myself in that, where I was like, oh, I'll give y'all the what I think you want. But I
Mhm.
think in if you have a set, if you have 30 minutes to perform, like it's time for them to come into your world for 30 minutes, not for
Mm.
you to go to theirs. So
Right.
so I had to really fight with myself to be like, all right, I'm gonna give them myself. And so we did the Mega Man joint, and people were into it, and I was like, oh, okay, like this is cool. And so
Don't
that was
don't
the
let me
beginning
be
of it.
don't let me be myself. Don't you dare give me all. Don't you encourage this. Do you know you know how many songs I got? I'm speaking from your
Yo,
perspective.
yeah, yeah. It's like don't you messed up now. Like, oh, this is cool. I can be me. All right, well,
Right.
watch this. You know.
You know, the irony of us crossing paths in Tucson is that you had discovered what I was still trying to understand about myself as an artist. At that time, I was still going by the moniker Baby Sinbad. Like I was Curtis King,
Mm,
but Baby Sinbad. I had the flat top. I had the 90s kind of,
yes,
thrift store
yes.
attire. And the whole thing was like, I mean, I didn't look at it as a gimmick. The older I get, the more I realize like gimmick has such a bad connotation to it,
Mm,
specifically in hip hop. And I get that the people who are critics of it really are just saying that it's inauthentic and that you're wearing a costume as a means to an end. But
yeah.
my question for that would be what happens when it's actually a part of your day to day, whether or not you're rapping or not. Like if it's really a part of is that something that you ever had a kind of inner dialogue or struggle with it
Like
becoming like a
the
shtick?
gimmick, the putting
Yeah.
on the costume. Like, literally, sometimes I
I
put
didn't
on
see
the
you out here
helmet.
with I see
You
you out
know,
here with the helmet and blue hair. I'm
yeah.
like, oh, you
I
you
had
was
to
all the way in.
I had to embrace it. You know what I mean? I really just had to embrace it. And the best thing about it is like it's work that I'm proud of, and it's a story that is authentic to me. You know what I mean? I didn't just go grab whatever I thought was popular and then say that's my thing, that's me. You
Mhm.
know, the thing that got me the most views. Okay, then that's what I'm gonna do. It was just I loved Mega Man music and I loved the game, and so I was like, well, let me just embrace that. You know what I mean? Like Snoop loves weed. I mean, I don't know if that's a gimmick. I mean, at this point, maybe it is, but um,
I do.
you know what I mean?
I think he the real deal.
But
I think
I think he's pretty serious about his love for weed. So, but at the same time, that becomes a calling card where something that, all right, if you do smoke weed, you got somebody to relate to. You know, if you are a nerd, you got somebody to relate to. So, um, yeah, I've definitely worried about that in the past a lot, especially growing up in Philly. You know what I mean? And like you said, the connotation of gimmick is bad. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? In wrestling, it's not so bad. The gimmick is what you utilize that your character becomes. And in wrestling, they say the gimmick is you turned up to 11.
Wait, you just made me realize something. How did we let that one go, but we don't let it go in hip hop? You just
Right.
that is as
Hulk
you
Hogan
said
going around, well, you know something, brother. And it's like, do you think he walks around and does that? Like, do you think Macho Man is well, Macho Man, maybe
he
he might have been like that.
you know what? He might have been. He might have been. Ooh, can I get some more bananas from the back of the store? Ooh, these are delicious. Like, like I can see him in a cereal aisle looking,
He yeah,
got any
he
Cocoa Rebels?
he's pretty authentic. For what people say, like he lived the gimmick. Like that's the term in wrestling is you live the gimmick. And
Yeah.
I think he lived the gimmick. But yeah, you don't think these guys were running around ripping their shirts off in the grocery store. Like that was when the camera came on. You know, the Road
Right.
Warriors was all you know what I mean? Like that was such Undertaker been dead for 20 years. You know
I'm
what I'm saying?
saying. I'm saying it, and Lord knows, especially as they disclose their own business and they talk about the roids, the drugs that may even circulate around, you start to see like, no, that's really
Mhm.
you on 20.
Yeah, that's 2027. Let's
You might have overshot the target.
yeah, yeah. But
So
yeah, that was just in wrestling. They just said that it's you, but turned way up. And I
right.
think that that's true. Like I love video games. I don't necessarily go to sleep and wake up thinking about a Mega Man game or character, but the artist Mega Ran does. You know what I'm saying? And so you're just turning the dial a little bit, but it's still within your actual wheelhouse. So you're not doing or saying anything that you wouldn't do or say. You know what I mean? So I think it's that's important is keeping a hold of yourself. If you lose yourself, then it becomes a gimmick in the bad way.
And the irony of that is that I feel like that's kind of the same description of a rapper in that those songs at times are your confidence on 10,
Mhm.
especially when you see them now in podcasts. And I know it because these are my peers, but I see it in podcasts where they'll talk about, man, I made that song when I was the brokest. I was the most depressed. I was the most loneliest. And you made the song that I'm the shit. You made I'm the shit at that point in time.
Right.
It's quite amazing that you achieved that. But it is your confidence on 10. It is you kind of projecting what you see yourself.
The projection, yes.
Yeah. But that, so my question for you to follow up all that is, at what point in time did you realize this lane? It went from the request in the crowd, like, yo, do the Mega Man. It went from that to, how did you know this is a lane that I'm carving, that is not just different, but it's sustainable, especially as an independent artist?
Well, I had a moment, and it ironically wasn't even Mega Man, but I think, well, it would have been Mega Man first, but it happened after, where I did, I was like, oh, I like doing video game flips. Let me flip Final Fantasy next. So once I found a little success, I was like, well, my second favorite game was Final Fantasy. Let's flip that. You know what I mean? And the Final Fantasy VII game that I did, the album kind of blew up. And that was like the moment where I was like, oh, this is kind of for real. But doing the album, the Mega Man project, this is back in the MySpace days, and putting it up on my MySpace page and being like, okay. And then people really saying they love it. And then I got a message on MySpace from Capcom. Now, Capcom makes the game, and I did not think they was going to find me. And it happened because IGN, this website, put up a review of my Mega Man album. And I was
I
like,
know IGN, yeah.
I was like, yo, and IGN's like the #1 video game source. And so them reviewing my album was crazy. I was like, how do they even know I exist? Like, what's going on? And I'm
glad that was your concern, because if I see CapCut, I'm like, I'm about to get sued. I'm about to get sued.
You know what I'm saying? So I see the message, and it's the big C. I see the big C, and I'm like, oh God. And it says like RE, this Mega Man album. And I'm like, uh-oh. I opened it up, and the dude's like, hey man, this is Tony at Capcom. Just wanted to talk to you about this. And I'm like, oh, smiley, smiley faces. It's making quite the noise, and I'm like, heart dropping. Right. And the dude skips a couple lines, maybe for effect. And then it says, don't worry, this isn't like a cease and desist or anything. Like, we think this is like hella cool. And I'm like, oh.
That's the last thing you want, especially when I had that issue when I did in 2009. I did a project called Snick at Night, where I flipped all the old Nickelodeon themes and made a project out of it. And I thought just like my initial audience was going to hear it, but it started getting numbers. It started doing more numbers on what was it? It was Z-Share,
yeah, the Z-Share,
MySpace, MediaFire, all of this. And I said, this is good, but this is bad. This could be
yes.
And the funny thing is, I was uploading, and I wonder if this happened to you. I was uploading them to YouTube, and I was getting flagged for like using Clarissa Explains It All.
The visuals were getting me flagged. The music wasn't, but the visuals were, and I was like, oh boy, I'm playing with fire. And I remember I had a message board back then. Man, message boards were the thing. I had a little Mega Man message board, and I was like, guys, this video keeps getting banned from YouTube, so I'm gonna put the video in here, but don't put it on YouTube, like just for y'all to watch it. Like I remember like it was like a Z-Share link, and I'm like, look, just do what you want with it, but don't put it on YouTube because they don't like it. And like they would not let me use any visual stuff, and I was like, oh, this is kind of bad. And so yeah, same thing. And they were like, oh, we think this is kind of dope. And I'm like, what? That's a thing. And the Capcom was really ahead of the curve, because like a lot of these folks are not into that. We're seeing that right now with Westside Gunn and WWE. So
what are your thoughts folks on that, by the way?
That is really unfortunate. Wes is a friend of mine. We fellow wrestling head. We see each other at events all the time. I feel his pain, but as a guy who literally named myself after a copyrighted character, hey, if they decide to come at me and say, give me that, I have to give them that. Like, it's a hip hop thing to do, to be like, yeah, I'm gonna just take y'all's photo and make it my album cover. It's so hip hop, it's so cool, but it's so dangerous. You know what I'm saying? And it's tough, man. Like the things you're a fan of, when you realize, if you get an impression that the thing that you love so much doesn't love you back, it hurts. And that was what I read in his post about it. Like that the hurt of it all, where he wasn't like, man, F y'all ain't not, it was just like, yo, I love this and I'm so disappointed. And so, but I wouldn't have put their image on a Times Square billboard. You know what I'm saying? I just wouldn't have
That
done
that might get a lot of attention. That might get a little bit of attention.
that. And like, he's not, I mean, he's indie, but he's not underground. You
He's
know
another
what I
tier of
mean?
indie. Like
Flashy. He's flashy
Megan,
indie.
Rand, you been to Strangeland?
No, it's Strangeland.
Strangeland, Tech Nine and Strange Music compounds, the acres that they have up
I have
there.
not been. No.
So when Murs was signed there, he you know, I went out there to do a video with him for the song Lemon Juice, and they took me on a tour. When I saw that, I said, "Yeah, I'm
Y'all
indie."
ain't indie.
No,
Like,
I
this is
I didn't even
indie?
direct it at them. I directed it at me. I didn't even want to throw that at them. I threw it at me. I was like, oh, I thought I was really indie. Look at this warehouse that used to be a Montgomery Ward.
Yo, Montgomery Ward.
They said, you want to go see the merchandise? That's not in the same building? Oh, yeah, let's get in the golf carts.
What?
Hey, you want to go see where we take care of all of the ASCAP and the publishing, you know, all of the PRO information, and we pay the checks? It's a whole room full of employees. We go to the merchandise.
Yeah, that's different.
Merchandise for the last 10 years. Then they say, you want to go to our stage where we also build our own sets and music videos? These folks, this crew that they had up there, had a stage where that's why Tech Nine is such a great independent live musician. He has a literal stage on the compounds. It's acres and acres of land, but a stage on the compounds where he performs, and they can build up sets up there and do music videos. They built a set within 24 hours while I was staying out there. Like, it's insane. And even like they didn't even want to work with the construction companies around. So they got their own construction gear in one of the warehouses.
What?
How about this? One more. I know this is your interview, but I got to say this it just blows my mind because I love talking to indie artists about this. There was a bridge that made their route from where they lived at to their compounds a little bit longer. And so they put in money in the city so a bridge could be built. And it not only affected their route, but everybody else who was like, yeah, why did they build a bridge earlier here? So you talk about independence. There's tiers to this that I'm like,
there are levels to independence. Oh my gosh. Wow. You just blew my brain there.
So
crazy.
When they come to you and come to me and be like, why can't you do that? I'm like, what you mean?
What you mean? Yeah, there's levels of independence. We need to come up with a new term for that. I guess they used to they were trying to get a word off. Mindy, major indie. Did you hear that?
Yeah,
I don't like that.
You were Mindy. Tried. But let's talk about the things that are possible, man. And this is what initially had the conversation going, bro. So supremely proud as an independent artist, as a DIYer, to see you in these Grammy nominations, man. This is insanity. You know, first of all, where were you at? What was your first reaction when you saw, like, I'm a Grammy nominated artist, and that's forever now?
That's forever. Okay, so good news is, like, you spend with the Grammy stuff, you know, of course, there's eligibility periods. You put the album out, then you submit the album for consideration. Then you get an okay that it was considered. I think in children's, there were almost 200 albums considered. So then you go through a voting period, 2-3 weeks, and then voting's over. Bam. So we had a week between voting and when they would announce the nominees. My anniversary was happening on the day of the nomination announcements, 10-year anniversary.
Oh yeah.
So we're like, I'm into signs big time. So I was like, oh, maybe that's a sign. Like, but you know what? This week is driving me crazy. So instead of us doing a anniversary trip on the day, because then I'll miss the thing, let's do a trip before the anniversary. And so the week leading up, which, you know, after voting ended, we took a cruise. We went to Long Beach and did a little cruise down Mexico and back. And 5 days. I come back the night before the announcements are going to be made. And they do it in the morning. So it's like 9 a.m. So I was like, oh, let's have all the homies over and have a breakfast. My wife's like, yeah, I'll make breakfast. We bring the homies in, a lot of the producers that worked on the record, everybody that's local. We sit around, we eat and we chilling. And they're like, oh, it'll be on YouTube Live at this time. So we put it on YouTube. And I didn't know that there are several streams or that are going to show different categories, because there are like 50 categories, like 50 awards or something like that. So children's is a bit of niche one. It's a smaller one. So it's within the visual media. So also movie soundtracks, audiobooks, other stuff that's around it, and the children is in that field. So I was like, well, this says they're going to show them all, so we watch it. And they get to John Batiste is going to be reading our category, and I was like, oh, that's dope. And so I'm all excited. John Batiste is like, guys, I'm excited to read visual media, blah blah blah.
Right.
And he reads one category, and I don't know what it was. And then they were like, all right, guys, that is the end of our telecast. Thanks for watching. And I'm like, wait, where's mine?
I'm here. Hi.
Hello. And so at that time, I get like 6 text messages. Bing, 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 bing. And I'm like, not right now. I'm trying to see who won the freaking thing. And so I close the window and we find another link that has our category in it. And that one had just ended. So it was like, thanks for watching. And I'm like what is going on? Yeah. Another 5 texts. Bing, 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 bing. I'm like, not now. I'm trying to find this thing. So I go back in and we're like scrolling, and every one of them is at the end of the stream. And it takes time for it to restart. So they're just like, thanks for watching, Grammy.com, And we're like, what is happening? And meanwhile, a couple more texts. Bling, bling, bling. And my boy is like, yo, okay, they got the results on variety.com. So we go to Variety's website. He starts scrolling through, and I'm like, scroll faster. And we scroll, and we get to Best Children's. And I'm like, yo, I see my name. Yo, my boy was recording. I'm like literally sitting on the floor, like staring into his phone.
Right.
And then I see my name, and I just burst into tears, bro. Like, it was just, oh my God. And I looked at my phone, and they're like, you did it. Like people knew 10 minutes before I did. And I was like, this isn't real. Like, no way. This is not real. And I just absolutely lost it, man. Like, the emotion was like, what? I'm like with my wife, with the kid, my homies are there, and it was just extremely emotional, man. Like that was insanity. And then like the emotion of like, this thing is happening, but I'm not able to see it. Like, yo, where is it?
Like, I need further confirmation from the Variety. I need someone to say it on the Grammy background.
Right. I need
John Baptiste to come back out here and do another announcement.
So then they finally rerun it, and maybe 20 minutes later they rerun it, and I'm able to actually watch it happen. Wow. And so for that, then I was like, okay, it really happened. And I recorded that, and like the Recording Academy like took a clip of that and put it in one of their little compilation videos they did on Insta. And I was like, oh, it's real. It's real. Yeah. Like, this is real. Like they can't take that away. Like, it's there. It's right. I see it. And
ever. What's crazy, just from a viewer standpoint, at times I identify this as an artist, but I don't really identify the difference at times of Grammy nominated versus Grammy winner on a very casual reading. If you see Grammy nominated, it's Grammy. Like you're part of that.
You're in the conversation. World. Yeah, that's really. And I've heard people say that, but these are people who've won. I haven't won, so they're like, honestly, the jump from non-nominee to nominee is like one of the biggest jumps in your career. So the jump from nominee to winner,
come on,
naturally, I mean, it's a jump, but it may not be the big jump that from non-nominee to nominee is. And I mean, it's only been a week for me, so I really can't say, but I can see that, because it is a huge jump to be in that conversation now. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're listed on this website that has Quincy Jones and so many other folks, where you're just like, whoa, goosebumps even thinking about it. And like, that's forever, whether you win or not, you know what I'm saying? So once you're there, I can understand people saying that, but also once you're there, you want to win.
Who don't?
You didn't come this far to come this far.
That part is one of my favorite quotes. And Buddy's Magic Treehouse, phenomenal project. And I'm gonna have a very transparent moment with you. Shout out to my dog 60 East in the building. Very transparent moment. When I see children's rap album, I cringe a little bit. I cringe. Let me get this off before I'm gonna spin it. I cringe a little bit, because in tradition before, if it's not Andre Three Stacks in that comedy, the Cartoon Network, if it's not that kind of, if the music is not there, sometimes the lines are like they're you can tell the artist is holding back so much and they're settling on cliche. Ashley in here just mentioned Kids Bop. Like we've
Mm-hmm.
seen versions of this that are like they feel so detached from hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
But you just said yourself, I'm a backpacker. This is where I come from. This album is so beautifully put together. Lyrically, let's start with that first, and that it you're not holding back punches as much as you're changing the direction of the conversation. Like there's no reason
Mm-hmm.
for us to be in a vulgar tone if we're talking about these particular relatable topics.
Right.
Being a kid that has varying interests and standing on that and what that could mean for you. There's so many things, and the music is just so soulful. I'm like, God bless you for
Oh, you
having these
froze up on
kids
me.
get into, huh? And I pause up. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
You here? We here?
I hear you.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
That
Okay,
might
we good?
we good. I think we good. I think we good.
All right, we back. We
Okay.
back.
All I was gonna say is that for the music to be so soulful and these kids to be exposed to this and the potential for that to win a Grammy, I think such an amazing example. Just for context, because we're gonna get
Mm-hmm.
into the conversations about this project, but for context, can you kind of describe what your indie looks like? We talked about the extreme with strange music, but what does your indie look like so that people can understand how inspiring of a story this is?
Oh man. Well, it's about the polar opposite of Strangeland. This is my Strangeland right here. That box right there is merch that I gotta ship out.
Oh wow.
There's CDs, there's records, there's my room is full of merch right now. There's so much vinyl that I gotta ship. Basically I do it all, you know. I am the guy who sets up all the merch that does most of the shipping. I do have help with that. I have a merch distributor, but I have to get the merch ready to get it to them. You know what I mean? So if it's going to be signed, it's got to come to me. I got to sign it, then I got to send it over.
Mhm.
Things like that. So most of the stuff is done right here. You know, at least a lot of scratch vocals are done in my home. Sometimes I make songs with the chat on Twitch. Some of the songs from this album actually started from Twitch chat, just working
Oh,
on stuff. And then I'd put rough versions of them in our Discord, and then I think about it, and then I'm like, all right, now I'll go to the big studio and actually flesh them out. So yeah, there's been varying levels of this, but to me, I think DIY hands-on is definitely where I'm kind of most comfortable, only because this is what I've been at for
mhm.
10, 20 years now.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm used to it. You know what I mean? I actually enjoy and appreciate. Oh, megaranmerch.com, by the way. Let me get my cheap plug off.
No, you
Uh,
good. You good.
to
That's how,
megaranmerch.com. You know what I mean?
that's how I know you. That's how I know you're a true DIY because in the middle of your thought, you said, "Let's not miss on that merch, Curtis
Let's
King. Let's
not miss. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
we
But
make up
yeah,
on the screen."
I appreciate that. So yeah, I that's funny. I just put up a new shirt just to kind of commemorate the whole thing. I did a Mega Man in gold, and it's for just to commemorate this whole celebration. But yeah, I'm used to doing it all myself. This is actually people say it sometimes, like they've been in the congratulations, they're like, "Yo, congrats to you and your team," and I'm like, "What team?"
Yo,
Yeah.
what does that team look? You are a true DIY. You are a Grammy nominated DIYer. Wow,
Yeah,
that's
people
you
would be
are,
like, "Yo, the team," and I'm like, It does take a
yeah,
team,
man.
and it is a team of folks." Like, I didn't produce every record. I did actually produce 70% of them,
Right.
but there's featured acts, there's instrumentalists, there's all types of people who helped out. You know what I mean? I have a manager now, so yes, I guess there is a team for sure, but yeah, a lot of it is just kind of me coming up with an idea, going to sleep, waking up, and then trying to execute it. That's
Mhm.
all. And yeah, it's a beautiful journey, especially to be able to have this story. Like, this will take me back to all the times of playing shows to 3-4 people and the sound guy, you know what I'm saying,
Man.
chasing down promoters to get paid, like the driving 6-7 hours for literally nothing, you know what I'm saying? Like, so many of those memories and moments, and some of them were just 6 months ago. So
Yeah.
having that in the front of my mind, not the back, but the front of my mind, to be like, that's what makes this so sweet and so special, to know like you can fight through all that. You could have went through that last month and put out a Grammy, possibly a Grammy nominated or considered project in the next year. Like, it's the grind, man. It's having a story to tell. And I do think the Grammys, I mean, we can say we won, especially as hip hop artists. We've had a complicated relationship with the Grammys, I say.
Mhm.
Um, but one thing I say is, man, like hard work and tenacity gets rewarded in that world. You know what I'm saying? Like coming back is so big. You know what I'm saying? People are big on the comeback. Like, yo, you didn't quit when you got disappointed. We got snubbed 2 years ago. You didn't just stop. And then, you know what I mean? And that there's definitely rewards in that, in the tenacity that's required kind of for the game.
Was this a thought in your mind as you began on the journey of making Buddy's Magic Treehouse? Was that even a consideration before you got into the project, or was it just a very natural, I want to do this thing?
Well, yeah. I actually submitted the first children's album I did, which
Mhm.
was Buddy's Magic Toy Box,
That's right.
and 2023. And that was really, it was people, Grammy winners, Grammy nominees, Grammy contenders who heard it and were like, yo, this is the best children's stuff I've ever heard. Have
Wow.
you ever considered, dropping it in, putting your name in the hat? And I was like, no, like, why would I do that? Like instantly is what you think. It's like, me? Nah, I don't have $1 million budget. I don't have this, and they're like, it's different. It's different. It's not what you think it is. So, and what's the worst that could happen? And
Mhm.
so I said, okay, I made sure my Recording Academy membership was up to date, didn't lapse. And then I submitted and just went on about my business. But then those same people were telling me like, hey, there's some chatter. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm hearing other
Oh,
people talk about your record. And I was like, what? And they're
yeah.
like, you should make, make the time to come and like politic a little bit. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? Come talk to some
Mhm.
people.
Rub some
Make some
shoulders,
make some,
rub some elbows, rub some elbows.
make some
Come on.
trips, show your face,
Yeah,
like,
I hate this industry for that talk sometimes, but
I
but
hate
it's
it. I
they're
hate it.
right. It's part of the job description, but man, oh man, does that get on my nerves. Those
Yeah,
and
man.
then how many times Mega ran, hey man, I really mess with your movement, man. Yo, we should build.
Let's build, fam. Let's build, fam.
Let's build on top of buildings, and then what's gonna happen is let's exchange numbers.
We all building.
We building, and like when I hit you up, I'm not gonna hit you back. Like when you hit me up, I'm not gonna
Yeah.
hit you back.
No,
But
I'm
we
not hitting you back.
connected, and it's
But
gonna build by
we building. So when I need something from you,
when
then
I
I'm gonna hit you.
when you get some motion, I'm gonna for sure hit you up. Yeah, it's a nasty, nasty world, but man,
the game is the
I can
game,
only
man.
imagine now the people that you even heard from in a minute because and thank you for being transparent about what this looks like for DIY artists because that's something that I think even I was conscious about is when you're truly an independent artist out here and people see you in this internet space and they see you have these great viral moments and they see you doing well, the expectation is that anywhere you go and anything you do is going to be sold out and it's going to reflect what that looks like.
Mhm.
No, this is the reason why people promote shows, the reason why there are still some folks out here on the ground level who are promoting shows because there's so many more distractions now that
Mm.
consumers have. There's so many more reasons to stay at home and sleep on your pillow after a long week of work
Yeah.
instead of going out 10 p.m. to a rap show. You know what I mean? Like this, we're
Yeah.
competing a lot. We're competing with a lot of people's comfort. So I'm glad that you were able to speak on that. Did you want to expand on that particular?
Oh man, I'm still going through it. Like I book a tour. It's the most satisfying, but also nerve-wracking part of this journey. Like I
Mhm.
love playing live. It's my favorite part of it. But tour promotion, tour, setups and things, it's nerve-wracking. I just came back from Europe and I did a week in the UK, and we're like, I don't live there. I ain't on the ground. So I'm just hoping the promoter is doing their job. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's like, it's one of those things where like, if it goes well, it's the promoter's, fault. Or if it
Mhm.
goes bad, it's your fault because you're on the top of the thing.
Yeah. What is
You know,
that? What
you
is
ain't
that?
got no draw, I guess. You know what I'm saying? And it's like,
Meanwhile, you have the title of promoter.
how about that? My
I can
title is artist.
an artist who can promote a little bit, but you
Interesting.
chose. You said, you know what? You know what's a job and title for me full time is promoter. But
Mm,
I think it is ironic because then you start getting those. That's why it's one of my favorite Atlanta episodes when Childish Gambino's character or his character was trying to do a show for Paperboy and the promoter just like disappeared behind a
Yo.
imaginary door. I was like,
That
I've
was so
been
good.
there.
That's so good. I've been through that so many times. You're like, yo, where's homie at? I just saw him. I don't know. I just I don't know. Okay. Man, I've had so many weird scenarios. Oh, man, come by my house tomorrow. Or some I've had one. I told it on my Twitch stream. I don't want to tell the other artist because he might not want this story out.
Mhm.
But I did a tour with two amazing independent artists, very well known. And we hit San Antonio, and the promoter is just like, yo, light night, man. I really don't know what to tell you. And my homie, the other artist, is like, well, I can't accept that answer.
I don't like where this is going at all.
He's like, yeah, I can't go back to the other guy and say that. Like, so what are we gonna do here? And he's like, yo, man, I just, I was planning on the money coming into the door that would go to you. Like, I didn't put any of my own money into this. And we're like, well, okay, where are we going? And they have a talk, and I was like, I'm gonna go get a drink. Y'all do this. And so I walk away, and then he comes to me and was like, I think we got to walk this brother to the ATM. And I was like, for real? And he's like,
Not
yeah.
the ATM. I've been there. The ATM walk is hilarious. The ATM.
Like,
you ever seen a promoter shake behind a Chase Bank glass window? I've seen it before. And a promoter who's like, don't worry about it, man. I'll just take it on my account. I'll take it on my account.
I got it.
You know that glass
button, fingers crossed, like waiting for it to go through. Like, yeah, we good.
He didn't have a few drinks, and so he just not acting normal. Bro, how many times have you seen? And I'm talking about a specific type of Chase Bank where you gotta, like, at after hours, you gotta put your card, and then you got that door that he can stay protected in. There's a part of me that said, hey, what if he gonna lock himself in there until I leave?
Just gonna stay here forever. Like, I called the police, so you should just go. No.
it's a cold business, but man, like, you are so right that the game in general pays off those who have the audacity to stick around, and also the audacity to evolve at different stages. Because even at this point, before making this project, you had already done a children's album. At this point, you have already established your name, and people are going to forever hold your name in high regard. But man, a children's album of this magnitude, I imagine, because I never made one. I made a children's jingle in my marketing class one time for a failing zoo. There was a scenario of a failing zoo, and I had to make a zoo jingle. That was the last jingle I ever made. That was so challenging.
Yeah, jingles are hard, man.
I didn't mean to tell you that mid-sip, because it was
no, but they're hard. I've just tried to do some jingles. I'm like, I don't think I can do this.
I think I was singing, I want to go to the zoo today. I said, no, I can't do this no more. This is not work for me. Children's music has its own songwriting rules. Usually it's more simple, clear, yet still melodic. How did that challenge stretch you as a lyricist who's known for complexity and storytelling?
That was really tough, man. I had so much difficulty in the beginning, just kind of fighting with myself, being like, I gotta dumb it down. No, you don't dumb it down. You just, and then I'm just, and being like, having those backpack roots and being like, oh, I can't have the homies be like, yo, you slacking on the lyrics, And so it's just this inner struggle for sure that I went through a lot on that first record. I can still recall myself sitting in the studio with nothing, you know what I mean? Blank sheet, blank session, just being like, I don't know if I can do this. You know what I mean? Because I have these ideas, but too complicated, too complex, too simple. Like, I don't know. And so I would beat myself up with that. And so eventually, man, I think it started with me writing one, like a chorus. And it was a song on the first album called That's Okay. And I think that's where the whole album started, with my name being Raheem, and a name that people can't always pronounce and get right. And for a song for all kids who have not so easy names, to be like, yo, if you mess it up, that's okay. We can learn together, and this can be a teaching experience. And so I was like, I think I got it. You know what I mean? I was like, okay, I think that I found the complexity in simplicity. where I can now dig a little deeper and still keep the rhymes and the tone fun, but be like, yo, this is a teachable moment. And I think that's where it came to me, where I was like, all right, I can use a little bit of my teacher background and teach a little bit in these. And I've had other people come to me and say, I love your storytelling because you make sure to involve yourself in the story. And I say that's the most important thing for me, is the autobiographicness of it all, being like, yo, I struggled with this. This was a thing that I dealt with when I was young, and this is how I dealt with it, and I think that part is so important, because it's easy to be like, yo, pick yourself up and be confident,
Right.
and then, it's like,
Not with that voice, because I've heard that before. I heard that before. When my mama used to try to bring me rap albums from Christian Lighthouse bookstore,
yeah,
and mama was like, you need to listen to this. You need to listen to this instead of what you listening to. And they'd be like, I used to be a gangster. It used to be fun, but not anymore, because the Lord's number one. And I'm like, don't tell me about all the benefits of what you just came from and think that I'm not going to be intrigued by the other world.
curious. I'm like, really? That sounds
Sure,
cool.
Sure, I made a lot of money. Sure, I had a lot of honeys. But now,
God, oh man. So yeah, and that's like, I've learned the most important thing I learned is being a father in this process. Like that's what inspired the albums. Is like, yo, we decided during pandemic to adopt, and then later that led to fostering and becoming full-time parents. And so in that process of raising a little one, he came to us at like 7 months, so this is almost like fresh, but watching him grow and understand, and then realizing like, yo, kids are little humans. Like, they're not just kids. Like, you don't need to speak to them as in like they are, Ella Jenkins said, like, using the falsetto with them all the time, like, hey, little Johnny, hey, you baby. And it's like, we don't talk like that to each other. So it's like, if you want to treat this person like a human being, you should talk to them like a human being. And I think that's what translated to the raps, being like, oh, I can talk like a human being talks. You know what I'm saying? And granted, I mean, there's probably a little more smiling in my delivery. You know how you can hear the voice when you're smiling, you're talking.
Right.
There's more smiling during the delivery, 100%. But yeah, I haven't let that affect too much anyway, with the complexity of the words and the rhymes. And this is the second album, so it was supposed to grow up a little bit with him. You know what I'm saying? That was my job, and this idea is that the first album is like, it starts off with counting 1 to 10, and and this one has an alphabet song, but like, it's supposed to then grow up. So by the end, we're talking about be yourself. And I mean, I got a 4-year-old, so he's still figuring out who he is. So working on that concept, being like, all right, now it's time to step up from ABC 1 2 3 to how to be a good friend. You know what I mean? And what's that look like? And so now I can channel my own, experiences of being a friend and dealing with things as a young kid, and how important peer groups were to me. And so that's been the journey. That was the journey for me. So this being in my second album for sure helped a lot, because now I'm like, I feel like I got a groove, but now it's time to step the groove up. I don't know where I could possibly go for a third album. Like, people talk about that, like, oh, is this a trilogy? Is this,
Right.
I don't know right now. But again, I didn't know from the first one. I sat in the studio blank. So
I'll tell you where you go.
I don't know.
I'll tell you where to go.
Right.
This is called the Grammy. GRAMMYS. This is called the Grammy. That's the next album, because you winning that Grammy. Damn it. You are winning that Grammy.
Put
That's
it in the air.
That's the third. The third is dreams do come true.
Hey.
Don't listen to these rappers that tell you that you have to follow their lane and the only things that they've done. I guess it worked out for your friend Miggeran. That's the video. That's the look. And then
that's the third one. Ooh, dreams can come true.
Dreams can come true. Look at your friend. As you grow with me and I'm growing with you, guess what? Even at this age, I am still growing. So look forward to being a lifetime of being a student. On that subject, though, what kind of reactions did you get from other rappers in the hip hop community when you pivoted? First on the first project, and I guess it will be less on this project because they saw it work. But when you pivot into this children's lane, were people supportive? Were these rappers confused, judgmental, or a mix of all three?
Well, I would say the first piece of advice that and this isn't even the answer to this question, but I'm going to get to that. The first piece of advice I always give young artists is, do not listen to or acknowledge or care about what other rappers think about you or your art.
Wait a minute. You get your first one of the day. You get your first one of the day. I've been holding off for that one.
Okay.
Continue.
I don't care. All right. So that was that. It's hard to learn. It's hard. It's hard. Yeah. You want that. Yo, that was hard. G.
That means something
so bad. But man, like oh my God, if I could go back to myself 15 years ago, I'd be like, yo,
stop listening to them.
Stop rapping for Wu-Tang. Like, they good. They all right. Like, you're not trying to be the 10th member. Like, stop.
Look, Megaran, they told me when at what was a good time in my career as a producer, and I said, I think in 2012 or it's gonna be 2012 or 11, I said, I think I'm gonna do YouTube. And I think I'm gonna live stream. What are you gonna do that for? What you need to do is get in front of these people and stay in front of these people. There ain't nothing on the internet. Ain't nobody want to spend all that time on it. I think I should do this thing. Something is in my gut. I can't predict where it's gonna go. And now them same people I see all over online. And I'm like, so you're not going to acknowledge that bad advice you gave me back in 2012? That's never happened.
Gosh.
Okay. Say less,
dude. Okay. So this is fun. I remember on a video shoot we were I was doing a song. I don't know if you know Kane Mayfield, incredible indie MC. He's moved into like a crypto space. Like he's really doing his thing. But like I remember us just having a conversation about the what rappers think, and I was just like, so if Method Man walked in right now and he heard you rap, and he was like, nah, it ain't for me. Like, what would that do for you? He's like, oh, I'd quit. I'd jump out. Like, literally, I'd be done. Like, my favorite rapper says, yo, you trash, or it's okay. I'd probably stop rapping today. And I was like, really? Like, yo, you sound crazy. And that's and I was like, okay, you can't be serious. And and I heard that from Homeboy Sandman, who I love to death. And he was like, yo, Black Thought's my favorite rapper. And I was like, yeah, me too, man. And I was like, so if Black Thought was like, yo, I got some advice, you should hit it like this. He was like, I wouldn't take that advice.
With no explanation is even funnier. The fact that he didn't give no context, he said, I wouldn't take that advice.
I wouldn't take that advice. Like he's like, how can he tell me how to be me?
Ooh.
And I was like, word, and it hit me. And I was like,
you have a valid point.
Yeah. I'm like, who can teach you how to be you? Even if they are the greatest at what they do, they can teach you how to be them or closer to them. But if what you got is special and you believe in it, what can somebody else tell you?
Imagine telling the first kids that were taking a kick and taking a snare and moving them in a really weird place that would go on. Imagine telling them, hey, that's not the way you make a beat. And it went on to become the sound of drill. Because nothing about that sound, the way that it's structured, sounds like a traditional trap beat, sounds like a traditional boom bap beat. Nothing about that seems like it would take off. But imagine telling that to, and you're not wrong in your advice. You're just giving some direction. Hey, I think your beats sound like they're a little bit stop and go. Like we need more momentum. And you have no idea what potential evolution of this game that you're stopping by giving solid advice, but also not being open to, hey, maybe even in my 20 years of experience, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about this thing.
This particular thing. I always liken it to, this is a dated reference, but do you remember that song Gucci Gang?
Yeah, Gucci Gang, Gucci.
There's a lot of words. Gucci Gang, Gucci Gang, Gucci Gang, Gucci Gang, Gucci Gang, Gucci Gang, Gucci Gang. It's like that sounds like a minute and 40 seconds, and it's mostly Gucci Gang. Right. If I had heard that, like if that came across my desk, and he was like, "Yo, what you think, OG?" I'd have been like,
"Nah,
this ain't it. You need more."
I don't think anybody's gonna like this one. Nobody's gonna tap
something. This is never gonna work.
Have you considered more words?
You should probably do a little more with this. Like, this is not a song. It's just words. What do I like? Song goes on to sell millions of copies. What do I know? Like, I don't know anything. And so that looking at yourself and being like, maybe I don't know anything about this particular topic, and I should let this cook. You know what I mean? And so thinking about that, being like, yo, do you know how much progression might have been stopped from OGs giving sound advice? They think, being like, nah, you just got to do it more like this, man. You got to do it like this. And like progressive MCs and progressive producers and progressive artists that have maybe stopped in their tracks because someone he thought was informed said, that's not it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, I can't advise creatively on things like that. And therefore I wouldn't want anyone else to advise me creatively on that.
Yeah. No, that's solid. That's solid, especially in a world that seems like we have more unofficial record execs who are tracing Billboard charts and numbers and and RIAA numbers that SoundScan numbers that they've never even thought about until their favorite artist was parading around, especially in rap, and saying these are the things that matter to my brand. And now we're in a place where we do have an abundance of information, which is a positive, and at times it can be a negative because you get these folks who have never had to compile the boxes of merch and do it for a show where only 12 people show up and then pick that up and go to the next tour stop.
The next one. Yeah.
And then go to the next one where it may be a packed night. And then the next one where it may be just you.
You and the sound guy.
You and you looking like, okay, that's pretty good turnout. No, they're at the bar. Don't even mention the shows where we're in the business of selling audio, right? Audio and merchandise, but we're audio experts to a certain degree, right? Our ability to demand the presence as master of ceremony and MCs. And we perform at venues at times that have the worst sound.
Yeah, how about that?
And I compare it to being like, imagine you saying, "Hey, I'm a florist. I got a whole bunch of roses. You should come here." And every single one of the roses are dead inside there. What is your product now? But you tell them, "Hey, man, wait, I can send you a link and I can show you on the page.
I can show you." Or like, yo, that's the aesthetic, yo. Like, you got it, yo. My aesthetic is dead, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, like everything lives and it dies, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's my vibe over here. It's dead sound.
The worst is when they say, and that's just hip hop, baby. That's just hip hop. And I'm like, put some respect on hip hop name. Because we know where it started from. We know that yeah, it is a very hip hop moment. Like, I've had shows where a speaker went out and rappers were like, I'm not gonna rap here because the speaker's out and that sounds horrid. And I understand a little bit more now, but at that time, it's like when you're hungry, you're going to get up there and our folks have done less with far less in the boroughs. So that's in the essence of hip hop, but I do feel like it's part of the reason why fans disrespect artists, especially independent artists, and the media outlets put so much disrespect because they don't understand the roller coaster journey that this is. Can you kind of speak to that?
Man, it's so true. I feel like, but you got to be careful, I guess, with the criticisms of it, because it almost comes off like a pull your pants up, respect yourself, Bill Cosby kind of way of respectability politics.
It's true.
But at the same time, like, yes, hip hop's been around for 53 years now. Like, it's time to take it seriously. And if we love it and respect it, then yes, it should be presented in a professional way. We call it is an art form, right? You know what I mean? So yeah, I do hate the connotation to be like, that's just hip hop. We on hip hop time. You know how it goes. Hip hop, baby. You know what I'm saying? Like, that means this mic don't work. Like, what? Why does that? Like, what?
Wait a minute. Yo. You know how many times I just sat there and looked at a sound man, and I just in my head, I'm like, why do you hate me?
They don't hate you. They hate their lives.
But you and I know how I've seen you get down, and I see you go into a venue, and sometimes you'll talk to the engineer, the engineer first. Hey,
you got to
meet you.
Get
I've seen you in the element. I probably learned from you. Hey, pleasure.
Get the name. That's the first thing you better do is get as many names as you can.
You want something to drink?
Because I got a homie who he takes that to the next level. He'll shout you out from stage like, "Yo, what's your name again, Ron? Okay, appreciate you, man. Yo, make some noise for Ron, y'all." And like, that means you messing up. Like, usually
he put a name on it. He said, "So if y'all don't like this,
yeah, Like
Shout out to Ron in the
Ron,
back.
I'm gonna shout Ron 3-4 times. So when you remember that this sounded horrible, yo, shout out to Ron on the sound. Yo, Ron, we couldn't do it without you, man.
All of
Like,
a sudden, he turned the mics up like, you put that on my name. You put that on my name. I'll be damned if you put that on my name.
but yes, first thing, man, I'm shaking hands with everybody in the building, man. Like, because it's so important. Like, and they're responsible for your output of that night. You know what I mean? The sound is bad. Like, my wife, she goes to a ton of concerts too, and she'll be like, man, like now that she knows like kind of what good sound is supposed to be, it's like, man, their sound was bad. And that, you can't put a name on it. You don't know the sound crew that ran that show. All you're gonna say is band, insert band here.
Yeah.
Sound was bad, and now it looks bad on them. And so it's like you can't do much about it. But at least from stage, you can be like, yo, shout out to Ron. You know what I'm saying? Bigger levels of indie, probably the strange level of indie, where you can bring your own sound crew on tour.
Yeah,
you
actually,
know what I mean?
We'll take it from here.
Yeah, you walk in like, hey, can I unplug that? Thanks. All right.
The entire console?
What do you need from me? Just moving out the way. That's all.
We want you to have a good night. That's what we want you to do. Have a good night. And it's funny because I've seen independent artists, like shout out to my guy Triz. Triz he brings his own mic. He will bring his own mic. He says, no matter what, you bring yours. So I wanted to ask you about that. Do you take extra precaution? Because I know how much professionalism, I know how much presentation matters to you. What kind of proactive steps do you take to avoid those shows where it doesn't represent the brand? Because you're really out there not only promoting your brand, but you're protecting the brand too.
Yeah, you're a musician. I tell my artist friends all the time, man, you're a musician. Bring an instrument. But I just sing. All right, we'll bring a mic. You know what I'm saying? You think a saxophone player would show up without a horn?
Hello. I just think I want to hear you.
I just thought y'all have a house joint. You ain't got a house alto? Are you serious right now?
Anybody got any reeds in here? Behind the bar, you got any reeds in here? What are we doing?
You telling me you don't have a house sax for me? What kind of venue is this?
And do you want to put your mouth on the house sax? Like, think about that for a second. Do you, like, pause, do you really want to put your mouth on the house sax? Every musician in there is used?
Yo.
No, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Like, come on. Yeah, like mics aren't that expensive, man. And make an investment. It's a simple investment. I get a wireless, and it was one time, ironically, this is a fun name drop. I was playing South by Southwest, and we're playing with Lizzo. And this is before Lizzo was Lizzo. Shout out to Lizzo, because Lizzo did the indie grind as well. Like, a lot of people don't realize that. Lizzo talks about it a lot, like sleeping in cars and just playing any show. You know what I mean? Grinding. And so we're on this stage, and she's like the headliner, one of the headliners. And the cats right before them was this cat from Chicago, Show You Suck. And he's really great, super high energy. And I was like, oh, how am I gonna follow this? Oh, and him and his backup guy got wireless mics.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and I gotta get up there and be like, come closer, y'all. I got this wire. I'm gonna just do what I can. And so I was like, yo, that set was great. Yo, do you think like I can just use that mic? Like, just keep it plugged up. I'm gonna just, and he was like, nope. And took it apart.
I don't blame him. Like, I get what you get, but I don't blame him. Damn it.
I was like, now looking back, I'm like, the nerve of me even asking him. Like, yo, this is this man's personal mic that his saliva has been on, his lips have touched. Like, why would he want to share that with me? Like, and I was just like, but I wanted the moment. I wanted a little bit of that moment. And I was like, first thing I did, I'm going to buy me a mic. Like, the moment I left there, I was like, I need my own microphone. And now I tell people, what's that?
What kind are you using, by the way? Oh,
my weapon of choice is the SM58 Beta from Shure. Shout out to Shure. I'm still trying to get that partnership. You know what I'm saying, y'all?
Come on.
I'm trying. I'm gonna tag y'all in every post with my mic. So what I do is I use a custom head, different colored head. So it's gold. So it stands out a little bit, the microphone cap. And so yeah, it's a industry standard, pretty basic mic. And the Beta's okay. Like I've had it about 6 years, actually since pandemic. So I probably am due for a new one. Wink, wink, sure. So but yeah, man, anywhere I go, any artist that I really truly like believe in and I see them going somewhere, I'll pull in if I'm comfortable enough with them, I'll be like, yo, man, you should start bringing your own mic.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I think just little things like that, man, that the professionalism side of it. And like, if we take it seriously and we treat it like a business and we treat it like an
Yeah.
art form, the people watching and listening have no choice but to, you know what I'm saying? So yes, I can work with anything. I can work with 2 cans on the stage instead of some monitors. I can work with literally no stage, and we're gonna get in a circle and make it happen. But like, we should take it professional and make it so put our thing on it. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
yeah, I'm like, I just look at it all the time as the horn player who would never show up without a horn. You know what I'm saying? The drummer wouldn't show up without a kit, or at least some cymbals or something.
Yeah.
Even if there's a house kit, it's like, bringing my
Mm.
own this, bring my
Oh,
own
I don't
cymbals,
know.
bring my own sticks, bring them.
Y'all got different habits in here. Like, it's funny. I should never came across the show Bar Rescue. I should have never came across it because I go into these bars now, and like my brain can instantly turn the light off and put a what is it, the black light and think about it. Like, after the pandemic, I don't know what kind of a germaphobe I turn into, but I get in these places, and for the
Yeah,
first time, Mega Ran, I sat there in front of a microphone and I said,
like, ew, I ain't using that.
"Everybody been spitting in this all night long. They've been doing this,
Oh yeah, it's
like,
yeah, you
I'm
up
like,"
here.
and I said, "What am I doing?" Like, and they've been smoking, they've been spit. I say, "You know what? I have never been this much of a, I have to bring my own microphone now. I have never been in that place. It took me to I
Yeah.
got 40 and I was like, I no, 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 no."
You got it. You just, yeah, man. Like, I'm not even super germaphobe. My wife is. She's always like,
Yeah.
all right, anywhere we go, it's like hand sanitizer. Come here.
Right.
You know what I'm
Oh, I
saying?
keep that on me now. Like that one meme. I got that thing on me. Oh, I got that
I
sanitizer on
keeps it
me.
on me.
I
Yo,
keeps it on me.
man. Okay, question.
Yeah.
If you've ever run, like, recently, since since pandemic, if you've run a merch table,
Mhm.
do you keep sanitizer on the table?
Yes. Well,
Okay.
yes. Yes, I do.
Okay.
'Cause sometimes I think even the audience coming up is conscious of that now more because after the pandemic.
Yes.
Um, Something else though too, and I've wondered how many adjustments you made. You got such a wide variety of merchandise, and you offer the shirts in person. You have the full merch booth. I'd never forget. I did a show with Noah in Bakersfield,
Mhm.
and it was the first time I didn't bring since in this stage of my career that I didn't bring any merch out except for the USB business
Mm,
card disc,
nice.
right?
Okay.
The drives or whatnot, and it had my full catalog on there, and it was I think it was $50 minimum, but it was pay what you want beyond that, right? Make an offer after that,
Okay.
and all of them sold out.
Mm.
And I said, I don't got to take no box of merches back in the car because yeah, we went on tour at Murs, we went on tour at Murs, and we did that every night. So I'm like, I
All
remember it,
merch. Yeah.
and I said, why not think of this before? So I started thinking of that entire experience can be so different to where people who are fans can get the merch off the website anytime.
Yes.
Let's really use this for what it is, which is like communing with your favorite artist in a very intimate way that
Yes.
that going live can't do. So I'm even thinking about that from a different standpoint as I kind of get back out here and whatnot. So yeah.
That's good. I think merch, man, that's nerdcore for sure has taught me so much about the merch game. Like, merch is everything. I tour with MC Chris,
Mhm.
and he's just a rapper and a mic, and the rest is merch. Like, he's like, I barely bring clothes, bro. I'm gonna wear my t-shirt if I need to. Like,
Oh wow.
it's merch to the ceiling. 5-6 shirt designs. Like, yo, because our fans, we're very fortunate. Our fans are collectors. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? As nerds are. It's like, oh, I got to get the pop figure. I got to get the pump. I got to get all these cool
Right.
things. So collect them all is a mentality that definitely serves our audience. And
Mm.
so different colors, different, oh, for this tour, it's this color. This tour is, like being able to be like, oh, I went to the gold tour when he had these, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I learned a lot about that. Also learned about having an item for every price range. You know what I'm saying? Somebody walks up for it, they only got $1. I got a sticker for you. You walk up with 100, I'm gonna find a way to get that 100 from you.
Yeah,
um,
there's a book called what is it? How to build fans or how to win fans by Pat Flynn. And
okay.
he talks about offering that gold. They did a study one time where they had a bus stop. It
Hmm.
was a regular bus stop, and then somebody did a social experiment where it was one that had a gold rope around it, but
Hmm.
it was for an extra fee. Because they offered it, people paid money to sit in this gold seat and gold ropes cut off because they offered it. Do you hear me? At the bus stop.
At a bus stop? That
So
is
the
insane.
So what you're saying is so brilliant because the mentality of it is there are people who want to spend more with you because of the exclusive company it puts them in. I'm part of the 1 percentile that has this, you know, this exclusive content that is for this much. I have the $100 Nipsey album. I have this, whatever the case may be, but there's a psychology to it, and people want to give more, and sometimes we're missing the opportunity to even do that.
Yeah, if you got a CD, they just gonna give you 10 for the CD and keep moving, you know. So it's like you better figure out a way to get a bundle going or something. But also on the merch tip, I love the USB cards things because they're very tiny. You can travel with them. One size fits all merch is always something I'm thinking about, because the worst thing is somebody walks up and they want a small and you ain't got it. You want the t-shirt in a small, they want the hat in the 7.5 and you don't have it, you know. So adjustable, one size fit all items,
that's good,
or something to for sure go for. But yeah, the collectibleness of it all is something that I really love. I'm into enamel pins these days too. And
enamel pins. Oh, you mean the
yeah, the little, I got this CM Punk one sitting right here.
Oh, that's fire. That's fire.
This is Juice Box Pins. Shout out to them. I actually went to a pin expo in New York. I was just walking by. At a pin expo. Like it's a thing, man. Like pins are huge right now. And people put them in they jean jackets, like the the denim jackets, like, and people put them on their walls and sticking them in a bulletin board, you know. So enamel pins are great. Again, just a one size fits all item. You know, it's small, you can throw in your pocket. T-shirts, hoodies. Oh my God, hoodies. I tried to do hoodies one tour. It was just a mess. Like, you're trying to, where do you put these things? I'm driving in a freaking, who do we ride with me and Mike Eagle? We rode in a Prius on tour. And I'm like, where do I put these hoodies? It's like, yo, you got to put them under the seat, bro. Like, so we just start stuffing hoodies under the seat.
The worst, and tell me how many times this happened. The worst Mega Ran is when you poll your Instagram audience and you tell them, hey, what part of my merch, what do y'all want next? And you're actually getting them printed up like at a company that you
don't do that. Don't ask. They're gonna say everything. They want it all.
They said we need more 5X tees of Ratchet Still Jocking. I had a garage full of 5X tees that said Ratchet Still Jocking with tie-dye. What the hell am I supposed to do with that?
You'll never sell those, man. Oh my God. Yo, drop those off at the shelter, man. Like, just drop them off.
Not even the person that complained about it. They said, man, you got to look out for your big fan.
The person who put in the order.
I'm like, you literally the reason it exists.
It was like the person who said, oh, I'm copping first day. And then it dropped me like, I forgot. Sorry.
Hey, my boy, if you had this in a red, that's an instant cop. Okay, here's the red option. Oh, man, you know.
Man. Long sleeve, though?
Long sleeve would have hit a little bit harder. Don't do this with me. Don't do this with me.
You can't ask. You cannot ask. Dang. You just got to just do it and try it out. Like, it's oh man, that's hard, man. That hit hard right there. That's a triggering moment.
I think I still got PTSD. That's why I do print on demand. I'm like, you establish it. I'm not putting this in the garage so my wife can be like, no. So, what's up with that investment? You get an ROI on that? Nah, honey. See, what happened was the next season it's gonna go crazy. See, because it's not EDM season. That's why they don't want the tie-dyes. Okay. Okay.
Man.
Speaking of the nerdcore audience, though, man, because you speak and you revere them in such high light, people don't realize how passionate and loyal, like you said, they love the collectibles, how knowledgeable nerdcore audiences are. What's something you wish more hip-hop fans would understand about that audience?
Well, I think people take, or at least in the hip-hop audience, they take kind of what we do in nerdcore and instantly kind of categorize it in a certain way as like lame or square or things like that, rather than taking the time to listen to the craftsmanship that goes into a lot of the recording. And what I love about a lot of the nerdcore guys are true DIYers. Like, the top nerdcore rappers, guys with 500,000 subs on YouTube, are writers, producers, engineers.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? They literally do it all and put out songs that are high quality every 2-3 weeks. You know what I'm saying? For a while, they were doing like the weekly model, which is what I got a lot of people kind of going, being
Mm.
like, yo, new track every Friday, self produced, self mixed, self written, recorded in house, and given right to the people. You know what I'm saying? And so, the biggest thing I take from that is like, yo, that takes some dedication. Like it's one thing to be like, yo, I'm just really nice with the bars, so now I need beats. Somebody send me beats. You get beats, and then they could be sampled from anywhere. You know what I'm saying? You could run into a sample issue. You could run into a producer disappeared issue. Oh, he sent me a track. He didn't label the MP3. I don't even know who that dude is anymore. You know, there's so many things that can happen in that type of environment where you're so hands off that a lot of nerdcore guys are cutting out. You know, those situations don't necessarily happen. The visual aspect of a lot of what they do, not being afraid to find an avatar, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? Like, mine is the little black Mega Man dude winking his eye.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the avatar. That is the thing. If you see it, that's me. You know what I mean? I think with that, with an art base, I can do a lot more on a visual tip with videos, with AMVs. I saw somebody in the comments mention AMVs were so big for a while. It's like, yo, you can just chop up some Dragon Ball Z or whatever, you know, if you're careful enough, you know, with your edits. But again, that's somebody else's stuff. But
you're gonna go through them YouTube problems we had early on.
yeah, you got to be careful. But you know, I love a good AMV. You know, if you can just find creative artists and creative ways to do it, where you're not stepping on copyrights. But like the visual aspect, like every song that drops has a YouTube video component to it. You know what I'm saying? They utilizing all the social medias. I got people who be like, man, I don't mess with Twitter, G. Like, nah, I don't be on there, man. I'm like, well, you're losing. You know what I'm saying? Like, you losing. You know, like, okay, like social media is literally the most what is it, necessary of the most evil. You know what I mean? It's like the necessary evil. Like, yo, I hate it, but I need it, and I'm not gonna be, you know, stubborn about that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you need to be on these platforms, you know, showcasing your art, talking to people, contributing to spaces that you love. And I think a lot of these guys are really good at that, you know, and nurturing their audience. A lot of nerdcore guys are big on Discord. You know, a lot of my traditional rap homies don't know about Discord. They're not really you know, familiar. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, yo, this is where your community can exist in an ecosystem that is not beholden to how much ad money you spend, you know, on a Facebook or on a Twitter or whatever to reach your following. If you can get all these people to come to one place, you know what I'm saying? We can all, you know, communicate. So when I drop a new thing, everybody can see it immediately and go get it. You know, we went again. Oh, there we go.
There you go.
Okay.
I feel like
It took me a while for Discord, for sure. That was something kind of during pandemic. You know, Twitch I was into and out for years, and then pandemic is when I really learned it. But just like giving the time to these different, you know, resources. Patreon, a lot of folks are maybe not on Patreon, but like utilizing these ways to let fans support you. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's I think the biggest thing that they can pick up from a lot of these nerdcore cats is like, I see stuff every day I learn from these new young guys. They'll put out a new video like, all right, this video is about, it's a Sonic rap, for example. You know, it's about life moving fast, but the you know, the reference is Sonic. So now the video is a bunch of Sonic images, a bunch of static, a bunch of lyrics, a bunch of really creative stuff happening. End of the video is like, yo, here's how to get to my Patreon. In fact, yo, I'm gonna put up a little list of all my Patreon supporters. Here you go. Bam, I got your names all in the video. Thanks for this love. You know, collaborations, other stuff happening. Like, these guys all like utilize a lot of collaborations and just, you know, taking your talents and spreading them across all of the different areas in social media that you can, and staying consistent with it, you know, for sure.
You know, one thing I'm realizing as you're describing this is, I think part of the superpower that you're describing in what you do, a lot of the rappers that are in the nerdcore space, is that I think that you have a superpower of cultivating and building an audience of fans because you yourself have not stopped being a fan of
Mm,
something. And I
mhm.
feel like a lot of rappers get into a space where, you know, I don't want to be, I don't want to be no, excuse me, when saying this. I don't wanna be no D rider. I don't want to D ride. I don't want to get into like, I don't want to give people too much props, like, because then folks get a
Yeah.
big hit. There's that weird stigma that exists. And it's like they forget about being a fan of something outside of like sports. I see a lot of rappers who are fans of like their favorite football, basketball team, but that's so
Mm,
important for you to be a fan of something and get the excitement yourself so that you realize, oh, I can create that same experience with people who happen to be fans of Mega Ran or fans of a CurtissKing. That's such a cheat code. And I know a lot of rappers right now are understanding, like, years and years later, the necessity of the Patreons and Discord. What
mhm.
would kind of be your advice? Because you've been in this knee deep, you've established your name as a legend in this space. What would be kind of your best advice for those who are open and but just don't, they're just overwhelmed by the idea of doing something outside of music?
Oof. Yeah, that's tough. I'd say, I mean, for fear of being a D rider, you're going to have to find artists that are moving the way you want to be moving,
Mhm.
and you're going to need to watch them. You know, I think I maybe got it from one of those books, maybe Game More Fans or something, where they were like, "Yo, find 5 artists that are similar, maybe in your lane, in the lane you want to be in, that make music that aligns with you. Set up Google alerts for all of them,
Hmm.
and then watch what they're doing. You know, like how often are they posting? Who's posting about them? Now go, you know, reach out to those outlets, things like that. Um, just watch them. You know what I mean? And take notes. What's working, what's not, like what makes you interested in their content. Well, you know, on every Monday he does a little talk, and then on every Tuesday he does this, and he interviews another person on live, and another, you know, like finding the the common ground and the stuff that will work for you. I was always taught as a teacher, the best teachers are the best thieves
Hmm.
because what you see work in the other classroom, you better find a way to make it work for you. Put your own spin on it, of course.
Right.
But like that's what mentoring is all about. You know what I mean? And it's like some people can be a silent mentor to you, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
By not without even knowing it. You know what I'm saying? Like I have plenty of artists that I've watched, you know, Doom, you know, was a big inspiration for Mega Ran. You know what I'm saying? Being like, yo, the mask and the mysteriousness of it all, you know. And so yeah, being able to see that kind of from afar, being like, yo, he's mentoring me, you know what I mean? Because I'm watching, I'm taking notes, and I'm seeing how this can work for me. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? And so that's, I think, the best thing you can do is find artists that are somewhere, even if you're very versatile and you yourself are 5 different artists in one, you know what I'm saying? Finding finding that common ground throughout other artists, I think you can absolutely utilize, you know, what is working for them if you put your own best spin on it and make it yourself. Mhm.
Yeah, it's interesting because I retweet. That's a great answer, by the way. I retweeted a video by Vic Mensa, who, you
Mhm.
know, most people know him as a rapper from Chicago, and they know his style of rapping. He has made a transition into streaming, and he's made a transition into doing like song reviews, clickups online. And he received a comment from somebody he ended up blocking that was like, grown ass man still trying to figure it out. And and he made a whole great talk about it, but it just dawned on me how many people are out here that are existing in this online space, and you never know who they are, what their situation is. But
Mhm.
the idea of trying to them sounds so cringe. It sounds so cheesy to try these things. And what if it doesn't work in front of people? And I'm like, I realize you guys have never done hole in the wall shows.
No, no.
The character building that happens there.
Man, yeah. I hate to say it, like, man, you ain't paid no dues, but it kind of looks like that for a lot of people. Like,
Yeah.
but we were just talking in one of my music group chats about how trying is so like looked at as corny these days. And so therefore, I mean, this is why like people have the opinion that like current rap is in the toilet. Like they feel like no one's trying hard because it looks weak to be trying. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? Like, look at him trying. Look at him like giving all this effort to stuff.
Look,
Nah, I
over here living. How
I
dare him
just I
live?
just farted this song out. Like, whatever, man, whatever. You know what I mean? I've been telling people, yo, like promote your work, like promote, you know, promote your stuff. If you're proud of it, talk
Right.
about it 2-3 times a week. And they're like, I don't want to be looking like I'm begging, like I'm really trying too hard. Like you don't want to be a
Oh,
try hard. And it's like, what?
Yeah.
Like you created it. You should stand by it. You should love it. You should be happy to talk about it. Like,
Who's
yo,
gonna be the bigger promoter of it? You were there from the very beginning of this process when there was nothingness,
mm-hmm.
and you saw it through.
Man,
And
I love that. Somebody said, like, we're always figuring it out. Like, you know, talking about growing. If you're not trying to figure it out, then mentor me, please. Because if you got it,
you got all the answers.
it down, you got all the answers, Sway. Then, like, yo, we need you. You got to run for office or something. Like,
Man.
you got the answers. Like, we're literally all trying to figure it out. And man, it's never too late, bro. Like, I can sit here and be like, yo, I've been making music for 20 years, dog. In February, my first album came out 20 years ago in February.
Wow.
So the Grammys are in February.
That's crazy that in your 20th year, officially.
It's my literal official 20th year of music, I will be at the Grammys with a Grammy nominated album.
DIYers, what in the LeBron James is going on here? Do you see what's going on here? This is why this man is referred to as the nerdcore legend, just independent legend in general. Like, what did LeBron just get out there and they're like, he's the first player ever to stand at the scores table at this age of so and so, and it's like
right.
Everything he does at this point, and I think that's the blessing also of what you were talking about earlier, that stick-to-itness, that longevity, that understanding, like Brian Z, who's a brilliant music mind, right? I love his takes on a lot of things. And one thing he said is, he tells artists, you have to establish very early, are you a short-term artist that you're just looking for one viral moment, one hit song, or are you going to be a long-term artist? And for those that are out here, you're going to be trying a lot of things if you're going to be a long-term artist. That's why I love this.
Well, this is, I might know the answer to my question as I'm saying it. Do you think there's artists who come in here just trying to get one hit and bounce?
I think now more so than ever. I think they were very quiet around us early on. Like early on, you couldn't say something like that. Like even the idea of, I put it in a song. I did a song with Digging the Greats, and I said, back if you was preaching quantity over quality, we'd kick you out the studio or smack you in your mouthpiece. Like quantity over quality. What are you doing right now?
What is that? Yeah, that makes no sense.
It's, 50 Cent made it cool, and it became like I made 100 songs before I nailed it down to these 15 Get Rich or Die Trying. So it became kind of accepted, but there's so many things that have come along, and that's one of them, man. Is I do feel like there are people who they may have started off as content creators on TikTok, and they're so viral hungry. They're like, man, I've been viral many times with these skits, but if I can get a song off and I can convert that to Spotify listeners, man, I think that's good enough for me. And that's why they'll do it one time and then they'll stop after, because they didn't really want to do a career. They didn't really have to want to go, I got to go practice. I got to memorize his lyrics and not do karaoke on stage. What are we doing? What is this?
I mean, do you though? I don't know. A lot of folks don't. Do you? That's overrated, dog.
I didn't really want to get into a career. Mega Ran. All I wanted to do was get a one song off, baby. I just
wanted to hit a quick lick. That's all.
Y'all do this every day? I promise you. I see that more and more now that I've and it's insane. As I've done shows, I had a show in Vegas, and it was underpromoted, but there was a younger artist who, she was looking around and she was like, "Where's everybody at? This is unacceptable." I could tell it's one of her first shows. I don't know what she expected from her online presence. I had just got off stage, and being a professional I am, I did my show. I thanked the people who did come up to the front. Wasn't a lot of people there. And she told me, in all of my 20 plus years, she said, she was saying something about it. I said, well, you got to understand, this is normal for under promoted show. She said, excuse me, I saw your set and I saw nobody walk up to you, so I don't really need your advice on this one. I said,
yo, wow, what? Oh,
you know what?
My bad.
You got it, baby girl. You got it. Baby girl, you know what? You got it. Let me take notes from you.
Yo.
She's complaining about things that are like so normal. This is like, this is like, you know how many times we go to a show and we be like, oh man, it's one of those nights. Well, cool.
We're gonna rock it. We're gonna have fun.
We're gonna rock it. We're gonna have some drinks. We're gonna eat some food, and we're gonna talk about all this hip hop rap stuff. But that's just part of those type of nights. And
I mean,
she
yeah.
came in there with such like, why is it not sold out? Like, why is it? She said that and looked at me and she said, excuse me, I saw your set and they didn't come up to the front, so I don't really need your advice. Respectfully. I said, oh,
Well, she put respectfully on it, so
that don't mean nothing.
Therefore, you can. Yeah,
you can't punch me in the lip and say I didn't punch you in the eye.
Like respectfully,
respect.
You kind of asked for it, right?
But I don't hate you. I might have punched you out, but I don't hate you. Respectfully, you can't put no Band-Aid on that. But when I saw that, it made me realize how detached a lot of folks.
Where is she? I mean, have you heard of her lately? Is she still doing stuff?
Of course not. Because even when she said that, I was like, "Are you somebody that I should know about?" Because like the audacity that
like, I know, me, 100,000 on TikTok coming through,
and that's the scary thing about it, dog. Because I've been on tour with Murs. Ironically, in was that Scottsdale, Arizona? In Scottsdale, where it's open carry, right?
Mm-hmm.
First night I went on tour with him. Me and Black Cloud went on tour with him. I'll tell you that for a reason. Go on tour, and I'm waiting in the merch booth with all the Black Cloud stuff because we're the openers, but nobody's going on stage yet. And a gentleman comes up to me with a drink and a vinyl, and he says, "You know where Murs at?" And I said, I don't know. We just got here. He said, okay. And he kept eye contact with me and just like drinking. And I was like, okay, this is my first night out. I hope this is not a normal occurrence. Murs walks out, taps the man on the shoulder and says, would you mind if I signed that for you? The humility in that moment taught me everything I needed to know about what this independent journey was going to be. Fast forward to the end of the night, we're driving off in the van, and there's about 7 police cars from Scottsdale police. The man had gotten into it with security. That same guy got into it with security. Went to the truck and pulled out a semi-automatic weapon. So I say that to say,
yo, what Arizona things, yo. This is definitely an Arizona story. Wow.
Yeah,
dude. I never saw a big gun until I got to Arizona. Just putting that out there. And I was born in Philly, the murder capital.
Yeah.
I never saw a big gun until I got out here. Yo, that's wild. Sheesh.
Yeah, well,
out here it's literally the wild, wild west, man. I could be pumping my gas and somebody walks up just with the thing on them, just full view, just pumping gas, and I'm just like, all right, I'm gonna go around here,
hey,
yeah, I'm gonna be on this side,
Let me ask you this. Because you took this journey and now you have become an example, a template, a blueprint for a lot of people who are looking at this like it's a possibility. What do you think would have never happened for you had you chased the mainstream industry instead of leaning into your strengths and interests?
Wouldn't be here today. You know what I'm saying? I'd have been so jaded and frustrated and any other idiot you could think of, because I'd have quit, because I'd have literally been bumping my head against a brick wall and been so upset by that experience, because without the kind of courage to pivot a little bit, I mean, I certainly wouldn't have a Grammy nomination. Like this isn't something I would have ever thought could be possible, on the old path, but yeah, I think where would I be is I'll probably still be teaching, which is fine. I love teaching.
What grade were you teaching, by the way? I don't think we asked that. What grade?
I taught middle school. So 7th and 8th grade.
Okay.
And it's crazy because when the Mega Man thing popped off, when homie from Capcom messaged me, they were like, yo, come out to Comic-Con, you can be our special guest or whatever. And I'm like, of course, I'll go. And that was my first time at a Comic-Con. It was huge. And I'm like, oh, people coming up like, yo, you're kind of viral, like you're great. And then they were like, we're working on a new Mega Man game. Would you like to maybe do some music about that? And I'm like, absolutely. So I started working on some stuff and I'm like, this is it. I'm about to blow. And then I get laid off from my teaching job. And I was like, oh man, but this whole, like, these props for Mega Ran were not paying the bills. You know what I mean? It was just like, yo, the internet loves you, but it wasn't doing that well. And I had a choice. Oh,
you go now. Yeah.
I had a choice whether like try to chase this. I went on a little tour in the summer, did like a little Southwest run. I actually drove all the way back to Philly. That's what I did. I drove back to Philly from Phoenix.
From Phoenix?
Toured on the way. So that's 2,000, 3,000 miles and toured. You know, I was like, oh,
Yeah.
I'll play 6 or 7 dates on that. And this is '09. I can clearly
Whew.
remember it. Michael Jackson died during that summer while we were touring. And play some shows, and the shows went okay. And I was like, you know, I still love doing this. And when I had to come back, that's when I was like, all right, do I chase this dream or do I go back to teaching? And I was scared at that time. So I went back to teaching. I found another school, got back in the classroom, did another 2 years of middle school, and then got the idea to do Final Fantasy. And then that blew up thanks to Reddit. People were like, oh my God, there's this rap album about Final Fantasy 7. It's so cool. And people were just like hitting me up about it while I was literally teaching. My people were on my phone like, yo, you're going viral on Reddit. And I was like, what is a Reddit? You know, this is 2011. I'm like, what the heck is a Reddit? You know, and then I realized like, yo, if you pop on Reddit, like it's huge. It can be anyway. And so next thing you know, MC Chris hits me up about doing a tour, 2011, and that tour happens. It's it's like a 48 date tour. And he's like, do you want to do this with me? And I didn't know about MC Chris, but I don't know if you're familiar, but Adult Swim, Aqua Teen Hunger Force, he played a character on there.
Oh wow.
Some songs, he would be the rapping bug or something like that on the show. And so he had a really great built-in audience, and he was making music. But like Chris didn't have to like do the shows we've been talking about. Like he went from just like voice actor to like packed rooms, you know, which was pretty dope. So this guy, went through a whole like 80% sold out tour with him, where I'm just like running out of merch. I'm like scrambling everywhere. Like, what do I do to get some t-shirts in Milwaukee, Wisconsin? Like, I'm just trying my best to keep up. And it was way bigger than I could have imagined. And so that gave me the strength to quit my job. Like when he asked me to do it, then I was like, all right, I'm in on Mega Ran. And so took the tour, and haven't been back to work since. And so that was it. Like it was more, actually, I think I quit the job before the tour offer came. I was just like, this is moving, and I feel like something's about to happen. And I was taking off weekends to go do conventions, to do shows, to do mini tours. And they were getting kind of mad at me, like, yo, you can't keep taking off. Like, you're out of sick days here. You know what I'm saying? But
I'm rapping on tour. I'm rapping out there. Come on.
Like,
let me get these raps off. I'll be back in a second. Come on.
Yeah. They were like, nah, man. They're like, we need, you know, and like, you're not being the best teacher you can be if you're not there every day.
Sure.
And I realized that, like, you're doing these kids a disservice if you're not, like, they need consistency. And granted, it's cool for them to be like, yo, my teacher's a rap star. Like, oh, but he ain't here. You know, it's like, that's not cool. Right. He ain't here because he rapping around the world. Okay. Where your teacher at? You know? So it was cool. But like at the same time, like I had to step away. So I put in my 2 weeks notice and was like, I'm gonna go with God. We're gonna see what happens. And then I got 2 offers. One was the MC Chris tour, and one was a college teaching position, teaching music business at a community college. And I was like, this looks more fun. I'm gonna take the road. I'll come back maybe at some point. I would do that job again. But took the gig, and that was like the launch pad for me, you know, where I was like, all right, I think I got something now. And so I always be thankful to MC Chris for that, because like he gave me the look that like started this whole journey. You know what I'm saying? So it's been a crazy road since, you know.
Man, and look at how, you know, man, it's incredible hearing your story and how the best is seemingly the best is yet to come. Because, you know, there's new things now that you're getting ready to achieve after already achieving a lifetime worth of work. You become a beacon for independent artists who don't fit the traditional mold. What's a real unfiltered lesson about independence that you wish more artists would accept?
I wish they would accept that 100 people say the 1,000 true fans theory. Have you heard that?
Yeah.
That 100 is a lot. You know what I mean? I think people need to understand how numbers work. And if you have even 100 people that will ride with you to the end of the earth, then you have something to build on, and you might have enough to quit your job on, you know what I mean? Like if you do it right, you know? So realizing that in the chase of these numbers, you know, is just not where it's at. Like you can find peace, you can find comfort in not being a household name, you know. And I think a lot of folks need to understand that, like, you can be very niche and tour the world. You know what I mean? I know folks that, you know, are not popping on Instagram, but they're popping in Amsterdam. You know what I'm saying?
Slow it down. Slow it down. That's a bar if I ever heard one. They're not popping on Instagram, but they're popping in Amsterdam.
Yeah.
It makes it really, and I'm glad you said that, because man, the reality of numbers, the way that have been misconstrued. Like I made a video recently where I'm like, you say your song got 70 plays. You say your song got 70 plays, 70 streams, 70 views, but dog, that's the same number as the capacity of a busy Chipotle. And in the same disrespectful voice that you say, only 70 views, you go on a Chipotle and say, it's too many people in here. I'm never gonna make it back. I'm never gonna make it back to work in time. A grocery store is 200, I think, or 300 average capacity when it's max full. Remember the pandemic? Remember how hard it was to get toilet paper? Yeah. These are the perspectives that I'm glad that you're speaking on. I try to put those out there because we do need some perspective if we're going to be independent and DIY or artists, because people don't realize, yet 1,000 true fans might have been more applicable to that time. But if you get 100 direct-to-consumer customers that show up, you know, they're the 20% of your audience that buy 80% of whatever you put out. Doug, you could make a really great living, especially in this time period where I think as human beings we need each other more than ever before. As we talk about the entering into the chat of AI music and kind of getting the space crowded with that part of it. With that
talk a little bit about that too at some point.
I was getting ready to ask you. I'm getting ready to round it back right here.
Wait, AI before you get to that though, talking about that 100, man. I've been a Twitch streamer for, I don't know, I saw some anniversary come up that was like, yo, you've been streaming for 7 or 8 years.
Wow. If
I have 100 people in my chat, I'm doing a backflip, dog. Like, I am so excited. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, I'll be like, yo, let's go.
I can't fit 10 people in this room that I record out of. The audacity to be like, oh, that's not enough. You remember at shows when rappers will be like, come to the front. Yeah, nah, y'all not making enough noise. I'm not gonna continue until y'all come to the front. Like how crazy does that sound now?
That sounds ridiculous. That sounds ridiculous. Like, but I came up in the era of, you know, playing indie shows, playing open mics, and you know, the rappers were just hanging in the back, you know, so they like this the whole time. And then after you get off, they're like, yo, keep going, fam. Keep going. Let's build. Keep going. Keep going.
At least you got it at the show. You know, when they get me, they'll wait till after the show and then send me a DM on MySpace or send me a DM
yes, because they ain't want to like D-ride you in public.
I mean, I don't do all that D-riding, but like I seen your little set. Your little set. I seen your little set. Your little set is crazy. I seen your little set, bro, and like, man, you got a lot of passion behind what you do. Just want to tell you to keep going. What happened?
I couldn't say that to your face because you know,
feel me like I don't be doing that D-riding. Like that's not really my get down. People be watching. I hate it here. You know how many times it happened? I said I hate it here, bro.
People be watching, and then they couldn't see me bobbing my head to you. Said, nah, I can't have that.
Because I'm a type person that from the very first shows that I did, I had no qualms about going to the front and doing the hip hop hand. I had no issues with listening and engaging, not because I'm thinking I'm going to receive that, but I did receive it because I was genuinely there to see what you were doing. Just first as a hip hop fan, I never stopped being a hip hop fan. And there's so many folks I think get so self-absorbed and I get that you're building your personal brand, but how could you not be a fan of this if you started as a fan of this? I just don't understand the detachment and where that goes.
I don't understand it. Yeah. Like hip hop's the only thing where it's not cool to be a fan. It's not cool to like support and to be like, yo, I like that. You know, like it's like, I can't be doing that. I can't have people know that I like this thing. Like, nah.
Yeah. It's not cool to be a fan. It's not cool, but we use people who have fans as the example and blueprint of, well, you're not doing it like this person that has a fan base. We can't have it both ways.
Cannot have it both ways, yeah. Like Yeah, you hit up the bigger artists for the feature
I'm
for that same
saying.
reason, but you can't. Nah, you can't be showing love.
No, like I paid him. I paid a number for the feature, but like I'm not gonna like say his verses was harder than mine. Like that's not what I'm doing. I got a song right now from 2009 where Kendrick destroys me on a verse. Slow it down. I have a song where Kendrick is on a verse. You think I care
Yeah.
about being destroyed on that? I mean, the hip hop part of me is like, man, I wish it came a little harder. But the other part is, can we just have a little bit of gratitude for these very rare situations that you have found yourself in, Mega Ran?
Mm-hmm.
That most human beings, forget just rappers, most human beings will never be able to experience a lot of the things that you probably have forgotten about at this stage.
Wow.
That were just all a part of the story and the journey, man.
That's why I wrote a book, man. Like that was my pandemic project. I wrote a book. It's called Dream Master: From the Stoop to the Stage to the Stars. It is it's on Amazon. Yeah, it was just a memoir about like a lot of stories from the road, like stuff I was writing down in between, long drives and things like that, and just about the journey and like how much I want to remember and keep from that. You know what I'm saying? Like you never want to forget that stuff.
Ever. AI music. AI music.
Allen Iverson? Yeah, no, he got the 40 bars.
Hey, man, what do you have the 40 bars? Hey, man, look. Who was the head of the NBA at that time? Was David Stern?
David Stern, probably.
David Stern.
Yeah, he said David Stern hated that dude.
Like, I'm changing the dress code because of you. You know how much hate you gotta have?
You got so much hate. I just finished his book. First of all, like being a Philly kid, like AI was like the blueprint. So like so much love for AI. He's probably my favorite player of all time. But like reading that book, man, it just made me want to run through a wall, man. Like he's just talking about being the smallest guy out there and always just competing to the end. And I was like, man, like pretty much every other day when I talk to people about this Grammy stuff, I'm just like, yeah, like you in it to win it, right? I'm like, yeah, like what would Allen Iverson do? Like, would he be like, I'm just happy to be here, man? No, he gonna step over Tyronn Lue and he go make it happen.
I'm too scared to go to the basket. I'm not tall enough. Shaq is in there. Excuse me?
Nah, I'm going. I'm not getting knocked down.
Allen Iverson's career was shorter because of how much he sacrificed his body. Like he was really going up against the Tim Duncans, the Mutombos, where he played with the Mutombo, but he going against Shaqs, and he would go in there and sacrifice his body for this game. And he had the audacity to cross up Michael Jordan. And I'll never forget reading a Slam magazine article after it happened. And they said he was talking the most shit afterwards. They said, you see what I did to him?
You see what I did? He said in the book, he was like, he went home like that weekend after that game. It was like, man, it was like he won the championship. It's like, yo, I see what you did. You know what you did. You know what you did. Like it was just pandemonium when he went back to the crib. Like I absolutely understand it. Yo, that was the championship.
I mean, no matter what, he forever, like, I think he has one of the biggest influences on this league, especially today. You still see remnants of his influence all the way around, from the braids. What is it? The braids from the sleeve on the arm sleeve, there's so many things that he put his imprint on. But you're absolutely right, man. He was the shorter guy in the league that had a giant like presence on the. I wish that was the only AI we had to be concerned about. I really wish that. I wish Allen Iverson was the only AI. I want to ask you this because someone hit me up the other day because they know how much I've been speaking sometimes in support of tools like a Chat GPT and how much it's helped me as an independent artist. And they see the criticism I have for some of these predatory AI music-based companies that have clawed the internet for all of our music and have used it to do, to train the data of their particular platform. Someone asked me this question. They said, Curtis, since you're also a producer, what are we going to do about all of them AI beats that are inevitably flooding platforms like BeatStars? Let's zoom that out and say, what are we going to do as artists and creatives about AI music and how it's moving? And I told him, I said, this is the time that creative humans should be connecting with other creative humans. Sitting around in fear of what AI is doing is wasteful energy. We have to get back out here and communicate. We have to get back. And it shouldn't be something that you feel forced to do. It's something that you should want to do. Get in person with somebody and get into that synergy, like bounce ideas back. I don't need all the answers. Let's just figure it out collectively and get to the best product possible. How have you as an independent artist been maneuvering this space in this rise of AI?
I saw a cat. I don't know, something came through one of my socials about a AI beat sourcing type of thing. I don't know, some sort of AI help. And and the guy had a good quote. He was like, "Yo, I'm not for letting AI create for me in any way."
Same.
But he said, "But I am with creating with AI, like with help or with assists on maybe menial tasks with AI." And I was like, "All right, well, continue," you know. And so it had my attention a little bit. And he mentions how, like, I think when people are upset about AI taking their jobs, I think the jobs AI is going to take are maybe the less creative of the jobs. I'm just being honest. Like,
Counting.
yeah, like, oh no, who gonna count now?
Wanted to be all my life as a kid. I just wanted to be one job, an accountant. I want.
Like, I mean, I think you have to know your enemy, whether you consider AI your enemy or not. Due to knowledge, I think anybody needs to examine what is happening. They need to learn about it, need to know it, because you need to be able to recognize when this stuff happens, because inevitably it's going to come across your desk. And being able to know, or at least be able to be like, this might be AI generated, and making an informed decision on whether you want to work with it, produce with it, use it for your cover art, whatever might be happening. Right. You know what I'm saying? So I think you got to know what's going on to be able to understand it a little bit better. That being said, I think some of this stuff, man, like it's moving so fast. Like I feel like I've been kind of studying AI for at least the last few years, and just seeing how fast it's moving is scary in a way.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's like, but at the same time, like I got homies who are like, yo, you sounding real Amish right now, my G. You know what I mean? Like, next you gonna say, yo, you fly when you gotta go to New York? Okay. You should be walking. You know what I mean? Like, if you really, you know, like people try to take it to that extreme.
I
like,
get it.
oh,
I get the same thing. Hey man, just get with the future. Okay. This is kind of like when cassettes went to CDs. You're the cassette guy now. Like, don't do that. It's not this.
I don't think it's that. It is not that extreme. But I've seen it used in some like interesting creative ways that made me wonder. I think I don't even want to put them out there, but I've heard from it's kind of obvious though, but I've heard artists use maybe to create skits or things like that, being like, all right, I'm gonna get a 70s vibe song, but they're saying today's slang, you know, I'm the illest ever. You know, now there's a 70s style song that is just a loop of I'm the illest ever. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's a quick little thing that happens and fades out. I've seen that on a couple of albums where I was like, you know what, that's likely AI, but you know, whatever. It didn't necessarily harm anything. I think starting a record with AI and maybe then bringing in musicians, hiring human musicians to create a finished product is already happening. Yeah. It's happening in studios all over the world. And I don't necessarily have a problem with that. I feel like humans in the creation process, because again, like there are rumors about, say, the way Dr. Dre produces, where, you know, he might be like, all right, so you hit that bass line like
right.
And then his guy goes and he's like, yeah, hell yeah. And then that becomes
just Dre prompting all over the studio. Just prompting. So, hey, I need that smear.
It's Dre eye. That's what that's the real problem.
Oh, there go another bar. Dre eye is crazy. The first time I meet him, I'm gonna be like, hey, I got a friend that make a rent. He's called Dre eye.
Dre eye. Like, yo, I mean, you can't deny Dre's ear at this point, you know, for talent and for, you know, what's very high quality music, without him being able to play or do a lot of the things that he hears. So, you know, if you can use AI in that way, where it's like, yo, I hummed this and created this. Yeah, that's kind of crazy. Like, it's kind of dope. It also feels like a cheat code, but it's also like crazy. But if you want your stuff sounding robotic and tinny, you put it out straight out of the thing, and it's not going to sound good. So at some point, humans have to be involved. Like, you cannot make a Suno mixtape, or you can, but it ain't going to be, I ain't going to respect it. I'm not going to like it.
Wait, why mine's not nominated for a Grammy?
Well, you know what's crazy? I
Process.
think. Hold on, things are happening. Actually, no, I'm saying, no, the Harvey Mason said in a quote, who like runs the recording
I
academies, he
saw
said
that.
like, yo, 50% of studios I've been in, or maybe more than that, I've seen AI used, and I was like, well, that's interesting. So I don't
Mhm.
know if now they're going to create some sort of checkbox situation
Oh,
like
they
with
will.
YouTube, where they're just like, you have to state that you've done that.
Oh, it's already
Now,
up there. It's up
is
there when you
it?
upload now. There's an upload that says, "Have you altered any content in this with AI?" And you have to click that in. I mean, you don't have to. Usually it's defaulted at
Mm,
no, but it's there
okay.
already because it's the way Sora's moving, the way that they're moving, like the fact that people are pushing political narratives using Sora and being able to like the fact that you can get rid of the watermark before the government has regulated anything is already insane to me. The
Yeah.
fact that I've seen in the last year or last month Tupac and Kobe Bryant in Cuba
Mm,
kicking it with each other in the heyday of their like in their primes.
mm,
The fact that I saw Mr. Rogers sitting
mm,
down with Tupac and
mm,
giving him advice on how he should approach hit him up.
mm, yeah, that's ridiculous. Sora is wild. I was like, yo, Sora is going to be illegal
It
soon.
needs to be. It needs
Um,
to be.
and
Man.
first I was like, oh, this is funny, and then I was like, oh, this is terrible. Like that's literally how fast it happens with this stuff. Like
Mhm.
the fact that for whatever reason, dead people's likenesses are not off
Free
limits.
game. They're free game. Hey, let's
What?
start. Let's start with the legacies of the people who can't change it anymore after this, and let's start altering it. Why do we have a video of Martin Luther King Jr., the legend, in a 7-Eleven arguing with the attendant? Like, why? Who thought that that was okay to launch on
Ugh.
first?
So I saw someone arguing, and it's actually a brother I find very intelligent. It was, Mark Lamont Hill was talking about it, and he's like,
Right.
yes, I don't want to see Martin Luther King stumbling over the "I have a dream" speech, because that was one that's, I'm like,
Uh,
and the mentality it takes for you to type that in and want to see it is a little off-putting to me.
Yes, it is.
That's like a little bit of racism coming out, maybe, where you're like, all right, let's make these people look dumb. But that regardless, he's like, yo, I don't like seeing it, but I don't know if I want to tell people they can't do it.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like that's the situation that we're putting ourselves in now, where it's like, do you want to tell people what they can't do in a free system? Where it's like, well, the if anything, it's up to Sora to say, nah,
Yeah.
you shouldn't be able to do this.
It's digital blackface essentially for folks who can be a faceless avatar and create these narratives. Even having, I think, even in general, you zoom it out, even having men who are writing from the perspective of men for women, and then pushing the narratives out here, and we see how easy people fall for things, especially our elders, man, and they'll
Mm.
see things and don't see like the obvious skin shining and glowing in certain weird places and the fingers that look like this make a
No, the fingers. Yo, the fingers.
the text in the background that up there it says the best is Sade, but it says like they can't see those.
Yeah.
They don't
That's the
see
saying. You
that.
got to know the signs. Like you got to
I
know
don't
the
know the
signs.
sign.
But that's creating a weird AI policing that's happening too, where
Oh,
a producer friend, I think on Twitter, put up something and he's using a certain plugin, and they're like, yo, that's AI. And he was like, what? Like, what are you talking
mm,
about?
yeah.
Now, you got people accusing people of AI because you're depending on people's morals, ethics, and honesty, which is not really the best way. Like, we can't be on the honor system,
Yeah.
for like, yo, if you tell us it's AI, we won't be mad. But I have
Just
to
say it.
believe
Yeah.
that YouTube is going to limit your visibility when you
Yeah.
click button. And so people are like, nah, I'm not gonna click it. You know what I mean? So relying on somebody's honesty is just, I don't know if that's the best way.
That's a losing game already.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, Knife
Yeah.
Wonder, you can make as many beats as you want as long as you don't sample. He'll be like, all right, I'm
Scout
not
Sonic.
sampling.
Scout Sonic. Well,
Like,
I think another spin of this too, and I'm glad that you're saying this, is as critical as I've been, I am getting more and more excited about the idea of two different things. One being that we're having to be more transparent about our collaborators. There's a weird thing in hip hop where folks weren't getting their credits for a lot of artists. The rapper
Yes.
wanted to be the center of attention. They didn't give credit to the graphic designer. They didn't give credit to the engineer. They didn't give credit to the producer. Now, because people are out here with the pitchforks, they're like, no. I know this is animated.
No. He did it. He did it.
He did it. So if it's
it.
AI, you blame him.
Yo, that's you're onto something. That could fix this.
That could
is
fix
if
it.
you make all required boxes that they have to fill out. Who did the art? Who did the mixing? Who did the mastering? Who did the production? Who played on here? Required boxes. Yes. So now, who you gonna write your same name in there? Me.
No,
now,
chat GPT, T.
Yeah. CHATG.
Bot. That's what you really would need to put in there.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, even then, again, we're relying on the honesty of humans, which, all humans inherently, I feel like, are good, but given the opportunity to not be,
they're capable.
Yeah, everybody's capable. So you're just gonna be like, oh man, John Smith did the art. You just make up somebody.
It's an account that I just made up. They got a bunch of bodied people. Well, and then the second part of this too is I am excited about, for me as a writer, right? I just went through a crazy experience of losing my energy and doing blood work, finding out that I was going through this whole depression and I was just vitamin D deficient, right? And in this time period that I was going through this, my writing process was so generic and so slow because I had brain fog. And then somebody said when I was watching one of these like videos about, it was a conversation about AI. And then the thought came to me, Megaran. I said, my job is to create art that is more difficult and too nuanced for AI to essentially copy. I like that challenge. So what you're asking for is more details for me. What you're asking for is more personal stories, more personal references, and to really dive deep into my visual imagery of my lyricism. Oh, so now taking a risk in this beat that I'm working on is not just a professional decision. It's a matter of, no, I need to lean in on that because those things that make us so mistakenly so human, basically
human. Yeah,
those are the things that are more valuable than ever now, because live performances, people keep talking about, well, what about live performances? I see a time period where now you'll see more musicians out because you want to see human error. AI is so, I call it grandma's plastic on the furniture. You can't really sit in that room. You can't eat in that room. You can't watch TV in that room. So it just exists.
Yeah.
It's too perfect at times.
Perfect. Yeah.
Or the goal is perfection. So now I love that pressure of you trying to make me be a better me. And then when you copy it, I have to evolve from there. Say less. Say less. Say less.
I've always tell people that too, like, but there's two sides to it, I guess. And it's the same comes with like the wrestling side of it, where they were like, yo, if you were a guest star on The Simpsons, how would people know it's you? Be just some dude in the beard and a hat, or like, is there a particular style to what you do, what you wear, what you look like? Whereas, and people have come up with that with like performances, like be like, what's your performance uniform? Like, if you were a guest star on The Simpsons, would people be like, oh wow, that's him? Or is it like, oh, who's that generic guy? What I'm saying? So like finding yourself and what makes you human is in that same way. It's like the same thing. Being human and not being afraid of being that. And so, yeah, I do think in like live performances, especially, being able to see that the human imperfection will fight the robots. I think the best way to fight the robots is to be more human, if that even makes sense.
To be unapologetically human and embrace your errors, talk about your errors, show, like, I think social media kind of, in a weird way, it's kind of like this whole thing was ushered in. And then you think about the pandemic and us not wanting to be around people and not, oh, I want to engage more with a computer when I'm at McDonald's making my order, because what if this person has COVID? And now we're looking at a time where it's like, no, we need each other more so than ever for confirmation that this is actually done by a human. And secondly, because nothing beats the illogical and legendary ideas that human beings have. Like we've done some things that make no damn sense. and our parents know about it. For instance, when they were selling pet rocks, and the man made millions off of that, or when somebody took pieces of metal and said that thing is called a slinky, and you're gonna throw it down your stairs, and everybody. What makes sense about that in 2020? It sounds so crazy, but that's the kind of things we do that AI. How would AI predict that unless they have the example of us being illogical and us being, out of our damn minds? But I think those things, this is why your contribution is so important, because one thing I've learned from you from day one is how much you did not apologize for being accessible, for being human, and communicating your thoughts in a way that I think a lot of artists are too insecure about doing that. I got this last question for you, man, and I'll
you got sticking up for slinkies in the chats, yo.
First of all, hey, but the slinkies is cool, but the pet rocks piss me off. You trying to tell me they sold you a pet rock in a yellow box and y'all went crazy for that?
Bro, they sold us bottled water. Like, yo, come on.
You gonna get something that's from the earth? You didn't even add nothing to it? Because I know for damn sure Arrowhead didn't add nothing to it. That's
nothing to it.
I straight out the toilet. Yeah, it's me. I kid you not. I was at a Joe's Crab Shack on a date, and I think this was God put me in this room. I know it was, because the guy behind me was like talking to another person. He said, "Man, you still work at Arrowhead Water?" He's like, "Hell no, man. Now we call that meth water." I was like, "What? Who put me here? What is this Truman Show situation?" He said, "Oh, we call that meth water." I said, "I knew that tasted like a handful of coins for a reason." Trash. Who used to work there called it meth water. I said, "You know what, sir? I am never drinking it again." Mega Ran, you've been an amazing guest. I got this last question for you, sir. When people look back on Mega Ran decades from now, I'm gonna do it again. When people look back on Mega Ran decades from now, what do you hope they say about your contribution to hip hop, gaming culture, and education?
Wow. Oh man. I think we've talked about it. So this is definitely the best way to wrap it up, man. Cause like I was just a guy who wasn't afraid to be as weird as he was, who like pressed on despite, with the immeasurable odds in front of me, and seeing where the business and the world was going, and still electing to kind of walk my own path. And hope they call me a pioneer. I mean, that's cool. I love that. You build a bridge and then people can walk and run over it. And I love that, so I really hope the next cat after me is going to get 10 Grammys, you know what I mean? And lead to some real change on a legislative level, on a, innovative, creative, technological level. We should get a nerdcore category somewhere up in the Grammys or something.
Hello, come on.
Yeah, I would love to see just these steps like continuing to just widen, you know what I mean? And like and hopefully somebody, I mean, if they don't, it's fine, but it'd be cool if they mentioned me, like, oh man, yeah, I saw this guy Mega Ran do it, and I knew I could be myself. Yeah. And that's really it, man. I just want people to understand that it sounds crazy to say, but man, good guys can win. You know what I mean? And literally, I've learned my whole life that nice guys finish last. You know what I'm saying? I've been told that my whole life. And then to be at a point where you're like, yo, positive things are happening because you never screwed anybody over, because you did it on your time, your terms. You didn't fall victim to whatever everybody said you should do, should be, and you persevered in spite of, and that's it, man. I just want people to know, like, dang, that dude never gave up, and I could do this.
Yeah. We salute you, man. Man, amazing answer. We always appreciate your presence. We need you, man, because
thank you.
It's so ironic to me, because I share that same sentiment, in that I was told how cutthroat this business is, the record business, and I was told about, the way that you have to be in certain rooms, and my personality just would not allow me to maintain that and be able to look in the mirror, as I know I'm letting people talk to me however they want to talk to me, or tell me things that I'm more informed to, like, that doesn't logically make sense. I think if I choose to do this on my own. It may take longer, but at least I have that autonomy. At least I have the space to try it, and it's on my dollar. Okay, it's on my dime. Cool, I'll do that.
Mhm.
But man, I salute you because you are one of the people out here that I look at and I say, I'm not crazy. I'm just not working hard enough. I'm not doing it enough, actually. I need to lean in even more because I see the opportunities that you have out here, and none of it surprises me because I look and I say, that's one thing that you have not stopped doing. And in spite of everything else that may be going on, aside from music, you have stayed the course. And in your 20th year, in the same month, tell me that ain't, oh man, that ain't nothing but God. In the
Man,
same month, February
same month.
pops up and it's like, here go your Grammy. Think about all the people who stopped when they were 3 feet from gold.
Yeah,
So I salute you, man, and
man.
anything that we can do on this channel to support you and whatever ventures and things that you have. Where can people find you? Where can they get your book? Where can get your merch? All that good stuff.
Oh man, thank you. First of all, that was amazing, so well put, and this has been such a great chat, man. Thank you. Yeah, man, you've been an inspiration on so many levels, man. So I just want to give you your flowers too, man. Like
Thank you.
watching your grind and climb, and the pivots and the execution, and just seeing it all from different points, being able to be like, yeah, I remember that. Yep. It's just so dope to see, man. It's beautiful. Man, you can find me. I'm everywhere at Mega Ran. Instagram is Mega_Ran. Somebody stole Mega Ran on Instagram. There's this girl named Megan. She's hating, but also megaran.com for all the show dates. I'm moving around a little bit throughout the year, and merch is at megaranmerch.com. Music's at megaranmusic.com. You can go to Bandcamp. You can go to Patreon. I do 2 songs a month on Patreon. I also take suggestions for those. So if anybody drops in there like, yo, you should do a song about this, I'll be like, yo, that's kind of cool. And then we'll work on it on the Twitch stream. And I stream on Twitch about, when I'm not touring, 4 to 5 days a week, just chatting or doing new songs or music reviews or whatever I kind of feel like doing. And podcasting, we do all kinds of things. So so stay in touch.
True DIY in every shape
Wire.
and form of the word, man. I salute you, and DIYers, thank you so much for all the amazing questions. I love to see y'all so engaged in these conversations because even though, as he said, we pivot, we talk about a lot of things that are more zoomed out. My heart is always still in these conversations because I walk from here feeling like I've learned something, especially as you know, we're doing these things, Mega Ran, and we don't really have blueprints because these things didn't exist for the forefathers that came before us. Right. So in real, it really is that analogy they say about entrepreneurs of jumping out of the plane and figuring out how to build a parachute on the way down.
Yeah. That's so really accurate. No, that's it. That's so accurate.
and then when you don't build it fast enough, it's like, oh, look at him struggling to build the parachute outside of the. How do you build a parachute?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
but you know what?
While you're falling.
While you're falling, yeah. Don't ignore that part about it. There's a few really quick, I guess, questions here. See you at Nerdcore Days next year, Mega Ran.
Oh, that Nerdcore Days is an event in Austin, Texas, usually around South by. I hope so. I got some things on the schedule for February and for April, but nothing for March yet. So that's very possible.
Okay.
Hope to see you there.
You doing mix this year?
I don't know what mix is. What is that? Yeah. You gotta tell me about it.
You see how much confidence I had when I answered when I asked that question? I was like, yeah, you doing mix this year?
Yeah, I don't know. Mix. There used to be a mix around E3, but E3 doesn't happen anymore. So I don't know.
Can I ask you? Okay, I know we're supposed to be wrapping up, but I got one specific question about E3.
Okay.
And this is when I was on my direct to consumer campaign so heavy, trying to get other artists to get involved in this because streaming just has abysmal payouts, has had it traditionally, and the way Apify has been moving over the last year has been insane. But I was like, look, this economy, this space has affected E3 to the point where a Nintendo, the point where some of the people who used to set up shop at an E3 have gone direct to consumer.
Yeah.
Instead of saying, let's do this conference, why don't we have our own Nintendo conference? Why don't we have our own, a Sony gaming conference? Or why don't we, like, they're going direct to consumer. If that doesn't show you what's happening, if it's happening at a big corporate level, what do you think is expected of us? And we're here connected with the people.
Man, it's so true. Wow, I didn't even really make that connection, but it's so true. Like, that was the beginning of the death of E3. Like, Nintendo was like, we're gonna stay home. And then Sony's like, all right, well, we staying home too. And then Microsoft's like, no, we staying. And then and then nobody cared. So then it's like, all right, we going home too. And
we
then
just want to make an announcement that we're going to. It's late. Okay.
It was a little late. Yes, we're leaving too. Okay, y'all. And yeah, man, it just man, I used to love E3 too. Like, but yeah, like, look at like from the top down, people realizing, I can go direct to my people. Like, like saying Nintendo is going to do a YouTube presentation sounds nuts.
It sounded nuts. Yeah. Even Amazon. Amazon said, why are we producing our own films? And why don't we just buy all these failing movie theaters? And won't we just actually take our films and go direct to our own movie theater? Bezos, one of the last things he did, I believe, was buy a bunch of movie theaters on behalf of Amazon so that when they do their original content, which obviously they're making a different type of split on, now we can go straight to a movie theater that shows Amazon movies. And you can't get no more direct than that. I don't need to go to AMC. I don't need to go to, you know what I mean? Like, I don't need to go to these other places when I know I can give y'all popcorn and candy and ices right here at Amazon theaters. That's crazy.
That is so crazy.
It's the era of the DIY, though, man. It is the era of the DIY, and it must feel you must feel vindicated to be so damn early in this process and being like,
oh yeah. I mean, by the way, I didn't choose this path initially. I wasn't like, yo, you know what I want to do?
Right.
I want to scrape and grind for 20 years.
I want to do everything
to get 100 people at a show. Like, that's what I want to do, yo. Like, but you start finding the love in it, man. Like, I'm like hooked on it now. Like, the grind is like, it's always a goal for me to be like, yo, I'm climbing this never ending ladder. And the fact that I know more now than I did 6 months ago makes me feel brilliant. You know what I mean? Like, it's so special to be able to hit these achievement points where I'm like, yo, look at this. Like, it's a game. I'm leveling up. You know what I'm saying? And so, the last level in most video games is level 99. You know what I'm saying? And so, at this point, we're still in the level 40s. So, you know what I'm saying? So, like, I'm never going to stop learning. You know what I'm saying?
It's like me as a kid playing jazz ball. Remember jazz ball?
No, what was that?
Jazz ball. It was the game where it was like, it was usually on Windows, but it was a bouncing ball, and you had these lines that you use your mouse that would basically, the lines would cut off parts of the screen, and you had to get rid of as much of the gray area as you could while this bouncing ball was going. If the bouncing ball hit the actual line, then you would die. And the game kept going and adding more balls, to the point where you would get to a level 50. And it's like, there's no space to even thinking here. And a line would go so slow. So you got a line that's going, it's kind of like the ping pong game on Atari.
Okay. Like pong, it's just bonk, bonk, bonk,
But jazz ball it just went over the line. You're like, oh no, the ball's going to hit. So I think of it in terms of that, man. I didn't get to ask you all the video game questions I had. We could say that for another day.
Yes, but, yes.
I salute you, man. And we are rooting for you. In February, you know what I'm saying? I am locked in. I got to see that category. I hope they announce that on TV, or we're gonna be.
It might be a little early. You gotta be early.
That's fine. We're gonna be there then. We're gonna be there.
Talking about direct to consumer, this will be the same thing. They'll be on YouTube with it. Like,
that's fine with me.
We gonna watch the CBS money don't kick in until 8 p.m. So. You know what I'm saying?
we'll cover the last 2 hours. No, it's all good. We here celebrating you, man. But one more time, round of applause for my guest, Mega Ran. Amazing example of a DIY.
Thank you.
Appreciate y'all hanging out with us and offering such amazing feedback. Want to make sure I acknowledge Ray Kincaid. Thank you. Ray Kincaid said, I don't know if you remember, but I did a show with Mega Ran in Jackson, Mississippi at a place called Offbeat. A great performer, nice guy.
I love that spot. Shout out to Young Venom over there at Jackson, man. It's a record store and a performance space that's like so fire. Yeah, man. That was fun.
Jaime Martinez said Mega Ran is super dope. First time hearing him was in wrestling with regret.
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 Wrestling
Okay.
with Regret. Let's get it. Yeah, I wrote a song for a really dope YouTube channel, Wrestling with Regret. And shout out to them, man. Brian Zane. He was one of the first people who hit me up. That's funny. A wrestling content creator. He's one of the first people who hit me up with the congratulations message. Shout out to Brian and the Wrestling with Regret crew.
There it is, man. Well, y'all have an amazing day, and I'll be talking to you soon. Man, keep on killing. We'll talk to you soon, brother.
Thank you. Appreciate you, man. We'll talk soon.
All right, peace.
DIY.